bottom of the totem pole. Where did we go wrong as a people? I think our people need to understand this with a wake-up call and give them understanding of what's going on. So bring it.
Early morning, rise up, open your eyes up, looking in the mirror, it gets no clearer. Cause we don't understand our own selves, drowning in sorrow with empty Hennessy bottles upon the shelf. Cause everybody wanna be a king, selling out their soul for this mean green cream thing. Paper chasing, but not facing the facts that as a nation, we all done got lax and letting the devil control us.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. And welcome to Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. We're here at 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas, 77071. If you're in the San Antonio area, you can join us at 4219 Centergate Street, San Antonio, Texas, 78217. And if you're in Albuquerque, New Mexico, you can join us at 501 Copper Avenue Northwest in Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87102. If you have any questions or comments during the course of the class, you can hit us on the YouTube live chat right there at the bottom of the screen. Or if you need to text us any questions during the course of the class, you can please text only 832-941-2443. After class, or even if it's during, if it's something personal or anything like that, you can hit up Priest Kazaka at 281-707-2737. For y'all that are joining us out in Trinidad and Tobago, especially if y'all can hit either me or Priest Kazaka, please start hitting me up, keep me in the loop. I'm at 501 Mayam on Facebook. So it's CHAHAWAM, and then Mayam, MAYAM, on Facebook. If you can hit me up through Facebook Messenger, we're trying to get things organized to try to get down there. To be able to, get things set up and be teaching the word down there too. All right. Any other questions or comments or anything like that? You can hit us up at Hidden Truth 12. That's Hidden Truth 12 at gmail.com. If you want to give any donations, if it's on your spirit to give any donations, which we'll be talking about later, you can send those to the school addresses, or you can put those in the Wells Fargo account. That's account number 101-580-6167. All right. One more time, it's account number 101-580-6167, and that's if you got any money you want to give toward the help the work of the truth. Don't forget kids class every Sunday from noon to 1 p.m. Every Sunday from noon to 1 p.m. we have kids class on ISB HPK Kids. All right, that's ISB HPK Kids on YouTube. So the sister's working on garments every month. So if you want to go ahead and send that in, send your garment requests in and your orders, you can do that on Israelwear, also on Facebook, Israelwear. All right, WEAR. Okay. And once again, as usual, if you have any questions or comments during the course of the class, we do handle those questions during the first hour. So you can either text or hit that YouTube live chat. Do you have any questions in class so far? What's that, sis?
I want to know what does spiritual mean?
Say it one more time.
What does spiritual mean?
What does spiritual mean?
Spiritual.
I got you. Okay. Well, let's deal with what the spirit is first of all. All right. Because the spirit is not just some floating ghost-like apparition that goes around. The spirit we know from many of the teachings is the scriptures, right? So let's go there. Let's go to St. John 15, verse 26. St. John 15, verse 26.
St. John chapter 15, verse 26. St. John chapter 15, verse 26. But when the Comforter is come, whom I will send unto you from the Father, even the Spirit of truth, which proceeded from the Father, he shall testify of me.
Right, so this is going to be the spirit of truth that's going to proceed from the Father. All right? So, what is the spirit of truth that's going to proceed from the Father? That's going to teach us all things. Go to 14, verse 26.
St. John chapter 14, verse 26. But the Comforter, which is the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things.
So this is the Comforter. It's going to be the Holy Spirit that's going to teach us all things, right? Right? So that spirit of truth is going to be the Holy Spirit. It is going to teach you all things, go ahead.
And bring all things to your remembrance.
And bring all things to your remembrance, right? Everything that we did in the past and things like that, right? How Israel learned in the past. Well, thinking about it, what do we have access to right now that teaches us what they did in the past? What Israelites did in the past? Well, we got the Word, right? We got the book, the Bible. See that? This is the Comforter. This is the Holy Spirit that's going to teach you all things. Y'all see that? All right, we know.
Whatsoever I have said unto you.
Right, whatsoever Christ has said unto us. Well, where do we get the record of what Christ said to us? Same place, right? Okay. So that's that spirit. The spirit of truth, right? St. John 17, verse 17.
St. John chapter 17, verse 17. Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is true.
See? So when he said that spirit of truth, well, what is that spirit of truth? Thy word is truth. You understand?
Right.
All right. So 1 second. Now that we're seeing that, now that we're seeing that it's not some mystical object, as a lot of things in the scriptures, they're not some mystical thing, but some spiritual, magical powers that you've seen on TV. All right. When he's talking about what is the spirit, it's that spirit of truth. It's the scriptures.
Right.
What's that?
I'm glad you explained that because I was confused many years with that when I was in the church. I'm glad you explained that to my wife so she can know what the spirit is, that it's not this mysterious thing that had you hopping around and jumping over everything and clowning, like I see some people say when they say the spirit, then they hit them. The largest church, that the spirit is his word.
Right.
That's the spirit.
You see that?
It's his word.
Now go to 1 Corinthians 2, verse 13.
First Corinthians chapter 2, verse 13. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 13.
All right, so we're going through what is it to be spiritual? What does that mean? Right? So we had to analyze first, well, what is the spirit? So now that we know the spirit is the word, right? Let's see what being spiritual means. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 13. Which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth.
Right? So we're not speaking in the words that man's wisdom teaches, right? We're not talking about science, their so-called science and trying to analyze things according to their science and their mathematics and their philosophies. You understand? We're not teaching off of what man's wisdom teaches. Go ahead.
But which the Holy Spirit teacheth.
Oh, you know what? Start at verse 12. I'm sorry.
Verse 12. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 12.
Hold on. Start at 6. Start at verse 6.
1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 6. Howbeit we speak wisdom among them that are perfect, yet not the wisdom of this world, nor of the princes of this world.
Right? So we just basically kind of reiterating what we started out with. We're not teaching according to the wisdom of this world. So when y'all come in here, don't expect, we're going to start teaching you how to sank your pants and how to be better in bed and things like that. All right. That's not, we're not teaching from the wisdom of man's world. Alright? This ain't Oprah, this ain't Jerry. Alright? We teach it according to the wisdom of the Most High. Alright? Go ahead.
That come to naught.
Because those things, they come to nothing. That they're not going to benefit you past the next day. Alright? Go ahead.
Verse 7. But we speak the wisdom of God in a mystery.
See, we speak the wisdom of the Most High in a mystery. Why? Because to everybody else, some of this stuff sounds mysterious. Faith? What? You want me to believe in something I can't see? That sounds mysterious, right? But it's simple. Because we have faith every day. We have faith every day. I'll go to work, but I'm going to get paid in 2 weeks. That's faith. Because you don't know if the white man's going to just snatch that out from under you. And be like, yeah, you know what, we ain't going to pay you, we're going to shut it down, we have to downsize by. Right? You go to work on faith. See that? Go ahead.
Even the wisdom, even the hidden wisdom, which God ordained before the world unto our glory.
See that? So we speak in these things, even the hidden wisdom that the Most High ordained before the world. And that's what makes us glorious, because nobody else knows this stuff, right? Go ahead.
Verse 8. Which none of the princes of this world knew. For had they known it, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory.
Go ahead.
But as it is written, I have not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which God had prepared for them that love him.
Right. So we're talking about what are we talking about? We're talking about those spiritual things. These things that we're revealing to y'all are spiritual things. That eye has not seen it nor ear heard about it. You understand? But these things are being revealed to you. How? Through the word. See that? Those mysterious spiritual things, and all these people are buying crystals and aligning their chakras and meditating into the quasars for. You're getting it revealed by something as simple as the Bible. See that? Yeah, that's how you gain your happiness. That's how you gain your freedom of mind. That's how you gain your solutions to your problems. That's how you gain your stress-free life. You see that? It's all right in front of you. But what are they doing? $150 yoga classes. I gotta have a spiritual guru come to my house and ring bells and burn sage all around me and make me huff all kinds of fumes, right? They're doing all these things for the things that you're getting from a book. You see that? Go ahead.
Verse 10.
So they're doing all these things that are so-called spiritual, right? The wisdom that man's wisdom teaches, right? So they're doing all these things, and that's supposed to align your chakras and get you spiritual, right? Tantric sex, right? Wow. You just stay inside each other for hours and look at each other, and you're gonna what? Progress into the spiritual realm? They got all these different so-called methods of becoming this spiritual being, and you're getting it right here from a book. It's not that mystical. What's that, sis? Oh, I thought she had your hand up. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, you good. All right, where we at?
Verse 10.
So you're understanding that so far, right? All right, go ahead.
Verse 10. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit.
See, he reveals those things, those spiritual things unto us, those mysterious things unto us by his Spirit, which we just determined was what? His word, right? So we got that through the scriptures. We know he showed us these mysterious things by the book. See that? Not in the wisdom that man's wisdom teaches. Not in us having to astral project or go and have an out-of-body experience or nothing like that. You see that? Go ahead.
For the Spirit searcheth all things.
Right. The Spirit searches all things. How many times you go through the book and that hits you right here, right? I didn't know that was wrong. I gotta change that, right? Wow, I think like this. I'm a good person, right? It's all right there in the book. That's your spiritual checklist. How to align your spirit. See that? It doesn't take no, I gotta make a trek to India and climb up Mount Kilimanjaro somewhere and talk to some Swami. You see that? Nah, it's right there in the book. Simple as that. Go ahead.
For the Spirit searcheth all things.
See, the Spirit searches all things. The book goes through every subject that has to do with your spirituality, that has to do with your spiritual well-being, with how to fix your mind. You understand? Because that's what we're talking about really when we're saying the spirit, right? When they talk about the spirit of a man, the spirit of a woman, right? It's your mind.
Yes,
With your thoughts. All right?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Yea, the deep things of God.
Right. The deep things of the Most High, they're right there in the book. Simple as that. Go ahead.
For what man knoweth the things of a man, save the spirit of man which is in him.
See that? Where did that spirit come from? Came from the Most High. So what man knows another man's thoughts except the spirit of that man that's in him? I can't read this guy's mind. I can't read Priest Lamarab's mind, right? I can't read Sam's mind, right? So how do I know what spirit is on that person? I gotta analyze them according to the book. You know, the scriptures say a man's gait is entire his excessive laughter. Show what manner of man he is. See that? So how do I know? How do I know if my wife's in a good mood when she walks in the door? I gotta sit her down and have a psychological exam and make her do a survey? No. I look at her. I be like, okay, like, she's smiling. She must be in a good mood. Hey, what happened today? Oh, she's frowning upside down. Okay, look. Well, what's going on? What happened today? I gotta change my tone now, right? How? Because I use the scriptures to analyze that person. All right. Go ahead.
Even so, the things of God knoweth no man.
See, even so, the things of the Most High knoweth no man. So you don't know what the Most High's thoughts are, unless you got this book. You want to know how the creator of the universe is thinking? Read the book. He put it all down right here.
Yes, he did.
See that? It doesn't have to be so deep and mysterious. It's right there. All right? Go ahead.
But the Spirit of God, now we have received, not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit which is of God.
See, we didn't receive the spirit of the world. We received the Spirit of the Most High. Through what? We open the book. We read it. Read.
But the Spirit which is of God, that we might know the things which are freely given to us of God.
See that? So we said nobody can know the Spirit of the Most High, right? Except you get the Spirit of the Most High. That we might know the things that are freely given to us of the Most High. See that? We got this book so that we can know the things that the Most High has given us. The gifts, the thought process, when I say the gifts, I mean, well, what am I good at? What is my purpose in the truth? Read the book. Find out what you're good at. Oh, this type of person. Okay, well then use that office. Magnify that office. You see that? I'm not this type of person. Well, covet earnestly the best gifts. Try to be that type of person. See that? It gives you a checklist of, okay, well, I'm not like Paul, where I've been studying since I was a baby and know all the scriptures and the precepts and the jots and the tittles. Well, then be like Peter and work off your faith and let the Spirit answer you as it gives you time. You see that? Do it like that. You have a person you can be like and find your gift. You see that? Go ahead.
Verse 13. Which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth, but which the Holy Spirit teacheth.
Go ahead.
Comparing spiritual things with spiritual.
Okay, how do I compare spiritual things with spiritual? I have to know what the Spirit is. Alright, so I have to know that this book is the spiritual. Right? This is the Spirit. So now, what am I comparing? I'm comparing the Spirit on another man or another brother, another sister, right? With what's in here. Do they line up with what's in here? Do I line up with what's in here? Does my spirit, my mind, line up with what's in here? You see that? That's how you're comparing spiritual things with spiritual. Go ahead.
It's deep.
Verse 14.
It's deep and it's right there. That's what's funny. Yeah. Go ahead.
But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God.
Why?
For they are foolishness unto him.
See, the natural man, the regular man without this book, he don't receive the things of the Spirit of the Most High. So you need this book to understand those things. See that? They're foolishness unto him. Well, a man died on the cross for your sins. What? That doesn't make sense. Well, that's because you don't read the book. You see that? That's why it doesn't make sense. You don't understand. You didn't read the whole story. And that's like if I walked up to somebody that was a person that was steeped in the British literature perspective, and they were telling me about Beowulf or whatever, and I'd be like, wait, a man did that and killed this giant whatever and drank honey and wine? That's weird. Well, yeah, to you, because you don't read that book. You never read Beowulf, so you don't understand what's going right to the middle occasion or, I can't believe he did that. You see that?
If I read any book and just start right in the middle, and I look at some of what the character's doing, I'm gonna be like, oh, this is disgusting, or why would somebody do that? But I'm not gonna understand it until I start at page 1, right? And find out the background and the history and the surroundings of what was going on at the time, right? Okay, so same thing with this book. You can't understand if it talks about God did this, Jesus did that, Peter did this. You're not going to understand that unless you compare it with the rest of the book. And then you understand, okay, this is why Peter told the Most High, I don't eat nothing common or unclean. Because he obeyed the law since he was born. He was a Hebrew. And Hebrews don't eat those things. You see that? You'll compare spiritual things with spiritual and be able to, well, it's going to go on and say that, but what's that? You had your hand up?
Yeah, you know what you're speaking of. I actually had a family member, and she knows what I'm speaking of. He absolutely turned red as this apocrypha because I told him that eating pork was unclean and that we don't do it anymore. And he turned red as big. He said, young man, let me tell you something. Your mother raised you up every day on bacon and eggs in the morning. I said, yeah, but that was then. Now I know now that it's not clean for me. I know it's not clean. Well, I'm going to keep eating mine. So I said, well, that's fine. You keep eating yours. But he actually got angry. He thought it was something really, literally wrong with me. And this people right now, I know now, think that it's something, they personally think it's something wrong with me because I decided to stay faithful to my wife and not go kick it with other women. They think something wrong with me.
Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah, because it's foolishness to them, right? They weren't raised that way. They don't know that perspective. So it's foolishness. But they would know if they read this book. They could discern the spiritual things you're doing if they learned of the Spirit. Y'all see that?
Right. So that makes so much sense. You're saying they really do.
Right. Where we at?
Verse 14, middle precept. Because they are spiritual discerned.
So why can't they understand the things of the Spirit? Because they have to be spiritually discerned. You see that? Well, what does that mean? What does it mean that has to be spiritually discerned? It means you have to know the book, just like I said earlier. You have to know the book to understand what a spiritual man is doing. You see that? You got to know the book to understand why the Spirit is having you listen to your husband, having you not hit the streets and find other women, right? And find other men or do these things. You have to know the Spirit of the Most High. And He put it in a book. This is my mind. I don't want you to do this. I don't want you committing adultery. I don't want you being a filth bag. So this is how I showed you how not to be a filth bag. You see that? You have to read the book. But to everybody else, well, I like being a filth bag. Why shouldn't I be one? Well, because it doesn't please God. But my God is okay with it. Okay, well, that ain't the God of this book. But I read the Bible before. Okay, but so you believe in the God of the Bible? Well, yeah. Okay, then you have to read His book. Otherwise, you believe in yourself as God. You see that? You don't believe in the God of the Bible. You see that? But why don't they believe like that? Because they're not discerning things spiritually. They're not understanding the book. They're not reading the book to understand spiritual things. All right? Okay. Go ahead.
Verse 15. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 15. But he that is spiritual judgeth all things.
So how does a person get spiritual? What do they have to do, sis? There you go. See how simple that is? You thought it was something bigger, right? How does a spiritual man judge all things? Because the word is in him. So when he looks at lobsters at Randall's, right? I don't know if they still do it the same way, but when I was little, they used to put them in the tank. When he sees the lobsters over there, he's like, those are bottom feeders. Those look like roaches. Those are not supposed to be eaten because God told me not to. Where? In the Word.
Wow.
So he discerns everything spiritually. He judges all things spiritually. Should I dress this certain way? You don't have to ask your husband. Why? Because the Word already told you how to dress. You see that? I don't even have to see if it's okay with him because I want to dress according to what pleases the Most High. And when a man's ways please the Most High, he'll make even his enemies be at peace with him. So when you go to your husband, hey, am I dressed right? Well, you got your head covered on, you got a skirt all the way down. You look beautiful. Go ahead, do your thing. Right? So that way you're not walking in front of him with a mini skirt, thong halfway out, and you know what I mean, and high heels on. Hey, is this okay to go to class? No, babe. Do you read the Bible? You see that? When you're pleasing the Most High, you're already having the Spirit on you. That's why it says this. Watch, read it again.
Verse 15. But he that is spiritual judgeth all things.
See, he that is spiritual is filled with the Spirit or filled with the Word, right? He judges all things. Go ahead.
Yet he himself is judged of no man.
Now, why is he judged of no man? Who can tell me? This is anybody. This is class. I want to make sure everybody's getting this. Why is a spiritual man not judged of any other person? What's that?
Reads the Bible.
Huh?
Reads the Bible.
Because he already reads the Bible. He's already doing the things. He already has the checklist of what pleases the Most High. Y'all see that? So nobody else has to come and tell him, hey, that's not biblical. Y'all see that? Where you at?
Verse 16. For who hath known the mind of the Lord, that he may instruct him? But we have the mind of Christ.
Whoa. How do we get the mind of Christ?
Wow.
How do we get that?
Study.
We read about Christ. Y'all see that? We read the things he said. Right? He said it. He said out of the heart of man, right? The things that proceed from the mouth come from the heart, right? Or as we know it, the mind. Right? So if you want to know the mind of Christ, how do I get the mind of Christ? Read the words that came out of his mouth.
And practice it.
And do it. There you go. Y'all see that? It's that simple. It's that easy. All right. Let's see. Where else were we going? It was 14 verse 37. 1 Corinthians 14 verse 37.
1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 37. If any man, 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 37. If any man think himself to be a prophet or spiritual.
So if anyone thinks they're spiritual, right? If any of them think they're spiritual, how do we know if they're really spiritual or not? Because they have pentagrams drawn on their floor and white candles burning in every corner, and they have all the magical crystals, the sardonyx stone and all the different the sorcerer's stone, right? They got everything because they got all the rocks and the crystals and all that. How do we know a person is spiritual? Let's find out.
They're going to walk according to this word.
Right. Let's see. Read.
Let him acknowledge that the things that I write unto you are the commandments of the Lord.
There you go. Let him acknowledge this book. Let him acknowledge that these things in this book are the commandments of the Most High. That's what makes you spiritual. That's all you got to do. Y'all see that? Some people come up to me, hey, are you spiritual? Oh, yeah, very. Right? Oh, really? What do you do? I read the Bible. What do you do? You levitate cross-legged upside down and do a chants and like, why? What does that do for your spirit? You see that? Like, okay, so you know every yoga position. You got all the incense, right? You know all the chants of Buddhism or whatever, right? But you're still a slut. Help me out with that one. You see that? Like, what about you is spiritual? But I astral project. Yeah, okay, but do you know the words of God? When you astral project, where do you go? I go into the planets. Which planets? Where? Where do you go? Right? Do you talk to anything spiritually enlightening, or do you just see other stuff? Because if you're just seeing other stuff, that's not enlightenment. You're just high. You see that? But do you actually get wisdom from what you're doing? Can you change your life with downward dog position? Right? Beside getting maybe a few extra bucks from your boss because he likes looking at you bend over with your butt in the air, can yoga positions help you spiritually? Have you used it to get out of any problems beside getting a couple extra dollars thrown at you at a strip club? What can it do for you? Can you raise your kids off of lotus position? Nah. But these are things that the wisdom of this world tells you are spiritual. You see that? But I can feed my kids off of what I learned in here.
That's right.
You see that? I can solve my wife's mental problems off of things that are going on in here. You see that? I could take care of my mother, and my father was around. I'd be able to take care of him off the things I learned in here. You see that? But what other book has these things? What other book encompasses all that and teaches you how to actually be a person that people consider spiritual? See that? Nothing. What's that?
You know what? I'm not trying to get ahead of you, but I was reading right after what he just read, and the Lord I know that what number him showed me something right there in 38, because I got somebody I've been trying to explain this to, and they continue to be ignorant.
Oh, yeah.
Purposely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're going to be.
And then when I just looked at 38, that just blew my mind.
What that say?
Verse 38. But if any man be ignorant, let him be ignorant.
Simple as that.
That just blew my mind.
That's how every one of the scriptures deals. Oh, okay, you want to be ignorant? You want to fuss and fight about it? We don't have to fuss and fight. Just be ignorant.
Wow.
Just don't know. I don't have to convince you.
Wow.
You see that?
Yes.
I told you. That's my job. Tell them whether they will hear or they will forbear. If they don't hear, they forbear. Okay, you got two options. Listen to me or don't. It ain't listen to me or die, because that's going to happen anyway. Right? Everybody going to die at something, so you listen or don't. I ain't going to force you. You see that? But if you want to be spiritual, you got to do what I do. You see that? That's real simple. Like I said, going down there, just read just off of the knowledge of this book and saying the things that are in this book. When I went down there to Honduras, man, these cats thought I was like some guru or something. Like, but all I told you wasn't in the Bible that you keep rejecting. Every conversation they want to start off with, that's why we ain't about that Bible. That's why, it's like, the Bible was given us by our slave masters. They was giving you every Facebook meme they could think of written by some atheist. And I'm sitting there, okay, all right, I ain't gonna force it on you. You don't believe it, okay, right? But don't come in the middle of the night asking me about some wisdom and then wonder where I got it from. You come to me like, how do I obtain that level of knowledge, man? My psychologists don't even know that. What's in the Bible? But you threw it out. That's why you don't have it. That's why you can't sleep at night. You see that? You want to deal with them spirits you got on you, be spiritual. See?
On what you just said, I got a question on that.
What's that?
Is that why in Proverbs, I read, and I think there's Proverbs 1 where I read what the Lord said, when your fear come upon you, your calamity, I'm gonna laugh at it. I'm gonna mock.
Yeah, Proverbs chapter 1. Yeah. 1 or 3? It's 1, right? 1 verse 25 now.
I mean, that sounds like to me that you want to, do your thing, but then as soon as trouble hit, now you want to run to.
That's what he does. He's like, listen, I ain't gonna force it on you, but as soon as all the bad stuff happens I warned you about, I'm just gonna laugh. Because I already told you.
Huh.
You see that? And then when he goes down and he's like, when you try to come back, then I'm still gonna be laughing at you. Like, oh, now you want to hear me? Okay. You see that? So this is how we get spiritual. This is what it means to be spiritual. You're just being biblical. Simple as that. All right? The Bible, the spirit of the Bible, and the things that are in the Bible are in all of your thoughts. Because your thoughts are spirits. You know that, right? Who knew that? Y'all knew that? Yeah, your thoughts are spirits. A lot of people, they take things personal or like they're wicked or something like that. No. When we say a negative spirit, it doesn't mean a demon jumps out and he's like, hey, you better start cussing a whole bunch. Right? No. You have a thought and you do it. Then we say, you got demons on you. Why? Because we can see little imps jumping on you. Right? No. It's coming out of your mouth. Your thoughts are demonic. You see that? It ain't TV. Alright? TV taught you the demons. There's some black little see-through kind of shadow thing that floats around and then it jumps in somebody and they start acting like a sock puppet. And, it's simple that a thought comes here and they act on it. Satan hits them with a thought and they act on it. You see that? It's really that simple. Y'all see that? And when it gets to the point that they're like beastly and tearing themselves and running through the damn tombs and breaking chains and everything like that, is because they entertain so many of those thoughts that they ain't got nothing but demonic thoughts in there. You see that? And everything is, now it turns into anger, and anger increases their strength. You know what I mean? And then they just running around doing all these things. Why? Because they're tortured now by their own thoughts. They didn't check their spirit according to the Bible. You see that? They didn't compare spiritual things with spiritual. See that? That's what I say. You find, man, I had everybody down there. We had cats that so-called spiritualize themselves by their diet, by minerals, by herbs, by crystals, by meditation, right? Yoga instructors. The yoga instructor was the one that asked me the most questions. Had needed the most help. You see that? Why? Because what she was doing was not spiritual. Spiritual affects your spirit. Alright? It affects your mind, it affects your thoughts, and it fixes those things. Yoga, like the scriptures say, bodily exercise profited little. You see that? That stuff don't do nothing for you. It just make you healthy. It doesn't fix your spirit. You see that? Like, people go in the gym, I'm angry, I'm going to the gym, I'm gonna hit the heavy bag. We go in there and beat themselves retarded and come out sweating and everything like that, right? And the thing that made them mad is still in here. You see that? You're going to go back to your woman that made you mad. Why? Because you didn't know how to think around the situation or think around her problems that she had or fix her spirit. So you got frustrated, went to the gym and took it out on a heavy bag. But what did that do for this? That wasn't spiritual. You had a workout. You see that? You still got the same demons up here. What else? Who else got a question? Nobody in class? Alright, what about online?
Have you guys answered any online chat? I don't know if you
No, this has been in class so far.
There's one Adrian Hawkins says, there's a pastor that thinks that Jesus is God. Can you guys call him? And then his second question is, what do you think happens to dedicated people like Ruth?
What do we think happens to dedicated people like Ruth? You got Isaiah chapter 2. You got Isaiah chapter 60. It shows you what happens to those people. They're going to be servants. They're going to be helping us. They're going to be building up our walls. They're going to be nursing our children. Y'all see that?
Oh.
So this is what happens to people like Ruth, people of other nations that take on our ways and want to be content to dwell with us. Who is God? What book I want to know? What? I don't know what that means, Mini Moose. And again, for those of y'all, Mini Moose is being belligerent. Okay, yeah, you could just X him out right away. That's not a problem. We know how to deal with people like that don't know how to come with no respect. We teaching the word of the Most High here. If you don't know how to respect that, then take it on elsewhere. Simple as that. Let's see. Oh, for those of y'all in Trinidad and Tobago, I'm going to repeat it again. You need to hit me or Priest Kazaki up as soon as possible. I'm on Facebook, on Facebook Messenger as Thaha Mayam. If you can type that in on the bottom of the screen right there. As Thaha Mayam on Facebook. Please get a hold of us as soon as possible so we can try to get things worked out to try to get down there and start teaching and everything like that. All right? And on that note, since we are trying to do that, all right? Since we are trying to get down to Trinidad and be out there teaching and everything, we've been doing a lot of this off the strength of what the Most High has given us, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding the Most High has given us, and the businesses He's allowed us to set up. All right? Now, the majority of the brothers that should be on the streets teaching, that should be out there giving out flyers, that should be out in being able to hit these other cities and states that have been requesting us, they've been tied up in the mall for 11 hours a day selling oils to support what we do. All right? They've been keeping the lights on here at the school. They've been keeping the doors open at the school by helping pay the rent, by selling oils with the businesses we've set up. That's why we rarely ever we rarely ask y'all. Well, we don't not rarely ask y'all, but we'll say we rarely demand of y'all that you give money. All right. We already know what tithes are and everything like that. I'm sure we got the smart asses out there that say, "Oh, tithes ain't money," and da 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 da. Okay, cool. Let's move on from that, from the basics, from the principles of the doctrine of Christ, and let's move on to perfection then, because now you have also alms, offerings, all right, which we gave, which we did a lot. Matter of fact, we're going to go to Exodus chapter 25 real quick, and we're going to see when we gave. All right, because the thing is, the reason this is coming out, all right, the reason this is coming out is because, again, we have a lot of brothers and sisters in Trinidad and Tobago that need us down there. They need that wisdom, that knowledge. They need classes. They need a structure set up. They need, brothers that can start grooming new teachers down there and everything like that. All right, but if they're tied up in the mall selling oils all day, right? Like Acts 6 and verse 2 says, if they're waiting tables all day, if they're having to work jobs, right? Then they can't go out and teach. Y'all see that? Matter of fact, let's go there. Well, I'll get you back there. Hold that Exodus 25. Let's go to Acts chapter 6. And you're going to read verse 2.
Acts chapter 6, verse 2. Acts chapter 6, verse 2. Then the 12 called the multitude of the disciples unto them, and said, It is not reason that we should leave the word of the Most High and serve tables.
And this is what we're talking about, man. It's not reasonable. It's not even feasible in
something you should think about, that we teachers that do this work, that have been committing our lives to this work, should have to put that on pause and go work at Domino's so that we can keep the school open. Y'all see that? It don't make sense. Like, who's going to be teaching then? Right? Who's going to teach if we got to leave this and we got to go work at Randall's? Y'all see that? If we go and do many of the, we can be fruitful and profitable for ourselves in many businesses. You see that? I could go literally talk somebody out of their shirt and pants right now. Like, I can do that. That's easy for me. You can see me whisper to somebody for like 5 minutes after knowing their name, and next thing you know, you'll see them streak down the street butt ass naked. I can do that. I have that power in my tongue. I've done it. I've done things like that before. You understand? It's easy for me. So I don't have to do this. You understand? Priest Kazaki does not have to do this. He could easily go be an actor like he was going to do before he came into truth, or go telemarket, or be a doctor. We can do anything. You understand? Especially now that we know these things. Especially from what we've been groomed to learn in the truth. We can go do anything. Any one of these brothers can go do it. He can go be a football star. He can go be a personal trainer. This brother right here could sell weed by the pound. You understand? He can go to Colorado and just become a billionaire right now. You understand? But why are we not doing those things? Because it's not reason that we should leave the work of the Most High and go wait tables. You understand? So when we're hitting y'all up and we're like, hey, this is needed for the school. This is needed for the work. It's needed for the work. It's not needed for us. We can easily go do things that make us way more money than sitting here talking to y'all and trying to bilk y'all out of $100. Right? No, that's what those preachers do. That's their whole survival, right? Write books, talk people out of their money. That's not our job. Our job is to teach the word of the Most High. You see that? Now, let's run through some of the jobs that a priest does. A real priest, all right? Because we're not the preachers that are in your church. If you needed us to come over your house and talk to your rib about some marital problem, we'll be there. But can I do that if I'm at Randall's bagging groceries? All right. If you need us late at night and you call us up and you just have a biblical question, right? So we already got marriage counsel out of the way. If you have a biblical question, we're biblical scholars. We'll teach you what you need to understand about the Bible. So you got that, right? So many other things. Personal finances. If you have financial problems and don't know how to run your finances at your house from month to month, we do that. We're like experts at that and how to dip and dodge around bill collectors, your creditors, anybody else, right? We know how to do that. So we can do your finances for you. You see that? Raising kids. We can do that. You see that? We can teach them how, we can be teachers like literal school teachers. Teach them how to read, science, math, whatever. We can do that. That's 5 different offices right there. All right? Beside being preachers. You see that? Beside, that's 6 different jobs right there just for one man to do. You see that? But I can't do that if, once again, I'm driving a cab around the city. If I'm an Uber driver. You see that? I can't do it if I'm going around having to go sell oils all day from 10 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. And when I say I'm talking about all these brothers that have been doing it for years. Y'all understand? And I'm saying this also to y'all out there because, there's a lot of y'all out there that, once it comes up to, hey, we need money for this or we need money for that, all of a sudden it's like, I gotta go find out if the cat's still playing the piano on the other YouTube channel. Y'all see that? Like when it comes to that money thing, it's like everybody gets tight and they're trying to hit us up for money again. We don't need your money, man. We've been doing this work. We've been setting up businesses, opening them up, closing them down, doing the work of the Most High. Now, what's needed right now and has been needed, all right, but now it's coming even more to bear, is in Trinidad and Tobago, we need a school. We need brothers to be able to leave Houston and go over there, all right? Now, all we're saying is, for y'all online, for y'all in here, if y'all can vow, do a vow, right? I know it sounds like the telemarketer preacher now, but if you can do a vow for about 100, 150, all right? We're saying 150, but you could at least minimum do 100 a month. Not even every paycheck, a month, all right? Just stack us in there under one of your bills. 150 to 100 or 100 a month, a vow from each person. Those who watch us online, those that are in class. If you can do that, that'll help take care of this school rent, which is $1,744 a month. All right, that'll help us take care of the light and the internet bill, which helps us teach the word to y'all in every state around the country and every nation. All right, including Trinidad. That's how they got us out there, was watching YouTube right now. That's what's going to keep these things on so we can continue to do that. All right? And that is like 500 right there. The lights and the cable. Another 500. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. Y'all know how cable companies work, man. All of a sudden the same internet from last month is all of a sudden more expensive this month. So you know how it goes. All right? But we're dealing with anywhere from $2,300 to about $2,700 a month, dealing with just the bills of the school to teach. All right. Now our businesses have been supporting that, but now we're having to go ahead and we're closing one down because we need to go ahead and start shipping brothers around and moving brothers around to open up a school in Trinidad. All right. We did it when we were doing in Louisiana. That didn't work because we needed more funding. We couldn't do it consistently. All right. We tried it in Dallas. We didn't have the people there. We didn't have the support of all the people there. So that fell through. We couldn't just drive out there. How many miles to Dallas? 300 something miles? Right. 3 hours to Dallas every time? Every week? Right? 3-4 hours driving? It wasn't affordable. All right? So we're asking for y'all to be able to help out so we can get this word out. If you look at your YouTube right now, you'll see all the people that checked in from Trinidad. They've been watching. All right, but they've also been calling, they've been texting, they've been trying to hit us up. How can we get a school out there? Then I got somebody on Facebook that friended me, and they attached me to some other person, and she started calling me on Facebook Messenger, talking about, hey, we need y'all in Trinidad and Tobago. And she ain't even related to the ones that have been watching us. So I need y'all to link together. All right, that's what we're going to be doing on Facebook Messenger now, is trying to link all of y'all together. Because she wants to help out and support and help us get down there. Y'all see that? So we got all these people from there that want to support, but they can't bear the whole burden. So when we hit y'all up, we're saying if y'all can vow 100, 150, at least 100 though, all right, per month. And that'll be your vow. All right? Now, you read 6 and verse 2, right?
Come.
Verse 4.
Come, verse 4. Acts chapter 6, verse 4. But we will give ourselves continually to prayer and to the ministry of the word.
Right. Can we follow this if we're waiting tables? Can we follow this scripture if we're having to go bag groceries, or if we're having to go become architects or become airplane salesmen and stuff like that? Can't do it. Like I said, I tell y'all the story before. I'll tell it again for as many as need to know. I got offered by a CEO from Boeing to help him sell planes internationally. I could have been traveling the world. You understand? Wow. I could have been traveling the world making money, but it's not reason to do that and then try to teach the word of the Most High. It wouldn't have worked out. Because, I'm in China, but what am I in China doing? Selling planes. Right. See that? Okay, yeah, I'm going to Timbuktu next week, but what am I doing in Timbuktu? I'm selling planes. I'm making money for me. Well, how does that benefit this? You see that? I'm not getting to teach. Even if I was dropped down in Trinidad selling planes, I would be selling planes. I would not be teaching the word of the Most High. You see that? Oh yeah, hey, I'm down here in Trinidad with y'all, but
I got this business meeting, so I can't meet up with you. What good would I have been? Y'all see that? Like I said, all these brothers have given up. I'm just using, some of my personal examples, but all these brothers have given up to do this work, to teach this word. And a lot of y'all are here based off of them handing you a flyer in the streets, or them being there helping set up the cable show so that we could put those on YouTube, or being in class. You see that? And them setting up class and everything so we could be on time delivering you the word of the Most High. So what we're saying is, if y'all can give toward that to keep us from having to go send these brothers to pizza delivery jobs and telemarketers and all that, then that'll benefit the work of the truth. All right? Well, but let's see. It got to be in your spirit, though. All right? Because otherwise, we look like stick-up artists, or like we're not going to do like that other camp and be like, oh, yeah, we're going to start charging $150 a class. We just found out there's another camp that's actually charging $150 a class. Like, you got to pay at the door. It's insane, right? What's funny is they were recruiting from us. They was calling our brothers from here, offering them all these big positions so they could go over there. And then now they done put the hammer down. Now that we got all these members, okay, we're going to say $150 a class. Y'all got to pay it. Well, dang. Now, are they within their rights to do it? Scripturally, they actually are. That's what's spooky. They are scripturally actually okay to do those things. All right? I'm going to show you this. Watch this. What's your question, sis? While I get that.
No, I was going to say, I think like 2 weeks ago, I was walking to my car and a guy came up to me with a flyer. And the thing about the flyer, I thought it was from you guys, but it's not. The address was showing closer to here. So I was seeing if you guys were familiar with that. There's another camp.
That's the camp we're talking about.
Okay, down the street here somewhere off for Gessner?
Yeah, there's a few around us actually. Wow. But there's a certain camp that was actually trying to recruit people from us. One of the brothers actually was with us and was handing out our flyers but crossing out our number and putting his number on there. Yeah. Let's see. It was
Do you know where their mindset is at, just based off doing that though?
Oh yeah. 1 Timothy 6 and 17. Yeah, their mindset is completely off. But the thing is like I said, is we can't do nothing about that. But we're not going to turn into that. Yeah. But because we haven't turned into that, we haven't got the support either. You see that? Because we leave it up to people's own will and their thoughtfulness. And a lot of times Israelite being too thoughtful outside of their own selves. Y'all see that? Now, y'all got the opportunity to get the truth because we thought of people in Houston. We left Colorado, came down here about 10, 11 years ago. Maybe more. Shoot. Yeah, about 10 years ago, 2007. Y'all see that? We left Colorado, picked up families and everything, and moved down here. Y'all see that? But when's it your turn? Right? What you at?
1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 17. Mm-hmm. Charge them that are rich in the world.
So the scriptures actually tell people that are dealing with churches or camps or anything like that to charge the rich. So I can't even blame them when they start charging $150 a class because that's what the scriptures say. Charge the rich. Right? Oh. I can't blame the guys even on the telethons. But I can that they're not doing their job, but they are obeying a part of the scripture that says charge the rich. Y'all see that? Now, we know y'all ain't rich, but we ain't hitting y'all up like that. All right? Read that again.
Come. Charge them that are rich in the world, that they be not high-minded.
See? So charge them, man. So that way it keeps them humble. So they don't be over there like, yeah, I'm the one giving all the money to the camp. No. Charge it. Okay, you know what? Cool, you got all the money. Your classes are $500 each. But what? I mean, you gonna be humble, or you don't have to be here? Oh, okay, I'm gonna pay. Humble them. That's what the scripture is commanding us. We ain't doing that though. Have any of y'all been hit like that? No. Hey, you got to make sure you slide your card before the door opens. So it only takes Visa or MasterCard, and then the door will open for you. Nah, we ain't doing that. Y'all see that? So, don't lay that to us like they always just asking for money. Like, no, we're not. And if we are, we're not asking for ourselves. Like I said, we have better ways of making money. All right? But we can't go, it wouldn't be feasible, it wouldn't be reasonable to do those things because we'd end up leaving off the teaching of the Most High. Y'all see that? And if Christ told us freely you have received, freely give, we ain't gonna charge y'all no $150 a class. Y'all see that? That wouldn't be right either. So like I said, we asking about a vow. We asking about vows to do those things. All right? Read on.
Come. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 17, second precept, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living God.
Right, so why would you charge the rich so they won't trust in their riches? See that? Oh yeah, give that over. Now I'll show you an example when they did it. You got the whole book of Acts is all they were doing. They were telling everybody, hey listen, you're going to go out and sell everything you have and follow me. Christ said it, right? Go sell everything you have, give it to the poor, follow me. That's all we saying, man. Sell it, do what you got to do, but only for $150 a month. Do what you got to do, make that, give that, so we can teach these brothers in Trinidad and Tobago that need it. These sisters out there that need that. Y'all see that? So we can send brothers out there to do that. That don't have nothing to do with, hey, do that so I can go to Vegas and bet it all on black. Y'all what? It's on record. Everything we do is on record. We do it all in front of YouTube for a reason. You can watch these YouTube videos. I have wore this garment before. I'm not Joel Osteen where you like, dang, he got a new suit every Sunday. Right. You understand? So it's evident. We ain't doing it for the money. We ain't doing it so pastor could have a new suit and drive a new Hummer. Y'all can go outside right now. Wait, hold on. My brother ain't here, but I got a ride to school today. See that? I don't even drive my own vehicle up here, so it ain't even about that for us. Y'all see that? So the thing is you're not giving it for that reason. When we're asking for these things, when we're saying these things, it's evident what we're doing with it. It's evident every time because we go and do it. All right. When we asked you about Baton Rouge, Louisiana, because we want to go down there and teach, we went down there and teach. All right. We still got the video on YouTube of us teaching on the street corner. We were about not even a block from the classroom that we had set up down there. Y'all see that? So it's evident we do that. So that's what we're saying. Where you at?
Come.
Go to Exodus 25. I know. Go to Exodus 25 and let's start at verse 1.
Exodus chapter 25 and verse 1.
Hold on. That's what the problem is. Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 25 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they bring me an offering.
Okay. So we'll stop right there. Tell the children of Israel to bring the Most High an offering. Right?
God.
Okay. Now, did he say it is commanded they shall bring me an offering, they must bring me one, or I will open up the earth and swallow them? What does it say? Read on.
Of every man that giveth it willingly.
Wait. How is he supposed to give it?
Willingly.
I gotta threaten him with death.
Willingly.
I gotta send an angel with a sharp sword to split him in half.
Willingly.
So these persons, he wants people to give willingly. So that's all we're saying. If you can doubt it. If you don't, if it's not on your spirit to do it, don't do it. All right? Because you got to watch your vows. Your vows. You got to watch those because, you vow to the Most High and you don't come through. That's when you start dealing with that death angel. Y'all see that? But, so, we don't want to go into that like that. But willingly. If you vow, give it willingly. If you want to do something for the work of the Most High and give toward his work, give it willingly, not out of guilt. All right? This ain't no guilt trip. All right? He wants willingness. Not out of grudging and necessity and things like that. No, give it willingly. But read it again.
Con, verse 2. Speaking to the children of Israel, that they bring me an offering of every man that giveth it willingly, with his heart ye shall take my offering.
See, every man that gives it willingly with his heart, with his mind, you should take the offering. Now, if they don't give it willingly, don't take it. That's the understanding. You'll see that? If a sister come up and she throw $20 on the table, here y'all go. You know what, sis? Here, you go ahead and take that back. It's not about the money. Y'all see that? Obviously, that's not something you can spare or care to give. So here, that's you. The point is, you got to give it willingly. That's what the Most High is watching. All right? Go ahead.
And this is the offering which ye shall take of them.
Right, so now we're using the word, he's using the word offering now. This is not tithes. So for all the smart Alex out there to be like, well, tithes was fruit and tithes was a wave of wheat and all this stuff like that. Okay, well, it was. You're right. Now we're dealing with offering. What you got to say about that? Because what did they do when he asked for offerings? Let's find out. Read.
And this is the offering which ye shall take of them, gold and silver.
What kind of offering did he take from them?
Gold and silver.
Wheat and barley.
Gold and silver.
Apples and oranges.
Gold and silver.
Okay, so that's clear, right? If he was going to give this willing offering, that didn't have nothing to do with the tithes. Y'all see that?
Come.
You took of them gold and silver. Read.
And brass.
And brass. Costly metals. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine linen,
right?
And goat's hair.
Right, so they was giving all these things. You see that? Materials, money. They did all that. Some of them was breaking off their earrings. Like, here you go, melt this down. You understand?
God.
Go ahead.
And ram skins, dyed red, and badgers skins, and shittim wood. Verse 6, oil for the light.
So it goes on, it gives you all the ingredients of things that they were going to give toward the temple. Right? Let's see. We're going to jump to... Okay, it's not on there. It's But y'all see that, right? That was what was required. That he wanted that willing giving. Y'all see that? We wanted you to give with that willingly. We went on this another class before with the somebody asked about how to alms deliver from death, right? That we read in Tobit. All right. They deliver from death when you do it willingly. As simple as that. I was looking for... But let's go from there. Go to Acts chapter 5. Sorry. 4.
Come.
So Acts chapter 5, Acts chapter 4. And we're going to start at Yeah, is that far down? Start at 33, yeah.
Acts chapter 4, verse 33.
32, I'm sorry.
Verse 32. And the multitude of them that believed were of one heart.
They were of what?
One heart.
One mind. You understand?
Uh-huh.
They didn't think, they weren't grudging, they weren't bitter, they weren't angry, they weren't upset. The multitude that was there at the church, at these very first churches that were starting, they were of one mind. You understand? It wasn't some of them thinking, oh, I don't trust those brothers. Well, I trust them wholeheartedly. No, it was equal. Everybody thought the same. And that's why I'm giving you a little bit of our background that, listen, for all of y'all to be of one mind, that we don't do this for money. When we do hit you up for money, it's out of the necessity of what is required to do the work of the Most High. All right? In order to further that work. All right? Because we've been doing it. Now we want it to advance. You see that? We've been doing it here, and y'all are a record of our work here. All right? That we started here with like a couple brothers that just gave up a whole bunch, and then some of them left, and some of them came back, and right? But now the whole class, we started with like maybe 1 or 2 people in a house, and now we got a full class. Y'all see that? You guys are a record of our work, that we've done this. But we want that to advance now. Well, now we want to start out in Trinidad and Tobago with 1 or 2 people in a house and have a school there. Are we wrong for that? I'm just making sure. Like I said, when it comes to money, especially they of the circumcision, man, especially Hebrews, get real tight. You know what I mean? Like, you spent it in the world on J's with no problem. You spent it in the world on barbecue with no problem. Right. You spent it in the world at the club with no problem. That's right. But as soon as it come down to, hey, we need this for the work of the Most High, you show how faithless you are. You show how I don't really believe that's going to God. You're right. The money itself is not going to God, but that spirit you got on you is. You see that? The money you got is going to the work to further the work that the Most High said to do. And he said, when you've done it unto the least of these, my brother, you've done it unto me. Y'all see that? So yeah, it is going to him. We're going to go down there and teach. All right. Now, again, to alleviate the guilt trip, it's going to happen anyway, with or without you. You understand? If he don't do it through you, here's the thing. Like I was telling a sister the other day, every time there's a time where brothers are saying we need money for something or whatever, I see that as an opportunity that I get to pass a test from the Most High. Because he's going to check and see what is my spirit like. Am I still in that giving spirit? Y'all see that? So I have an opportunity now to either pass and exceed in the ways and the wisdom of the Most High, or I have an opportunity to draw back. Like the scripture said, if any man draw back, my spirit will have no pleasure in him. Right? I have the opportunity to do that and not be pleasurable to the Most High. Y'all see that? But every time I go ahead and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to give that. If that's what's required, that's what's needed, we're going to do that. See that, rather than seeing it as, oh, they're hitting us up for money again. No, the Most High is checking your spirit on giving. He's checking and making you humble, like we just read, right? He's charging the rich. He does that to keep you humble. Y'all see that? So I don't look at it as, oh, the brothers are hitting me up. No, the Most High is checking the spirit. He's testing right now. And okay, this person is willing to give, this person ain't. Why do you think he took a shepherd and made him king of Israel? Because what was David doing? Oh, I fought a lion and a bear just to save a sheep. I put my life on the line to save these sheep. So what would he do for a human being? Y'all see that? That person has a giving spirit. I'm going to raise him up to be king of Israel. Y'all see that? What do y'all want to be raised up to be? Or do you want to just keep struggling in the same position? That's cool. That's why I said it's not up to us. Y'all understand? We don't raise men up. When you saw us giving out the plaques and all that, we didn't raise those men up to those positions, man. They earned those positions and we just recognized them. Y'all see that? They were already that here. When we raised a brother up to be an officer, We ourselves didn't decide, oh yeah, you know what, we like this brother, he's cool. No. We watched that brother become and fulfill the things that were written in the scriptures. And we recognized him for that. And gave him a rank because of the responsibility and the sacrifice he would take on. Y'all see that?
Oh.
So you have to decide how you want to be raised up by the Most High. Y'all see that? Saul was raised up just because he was taller than everybody. And the Most High was like, yeah, they'll follow him. They're carnal as hell. Give him a king. Y'all see that? Then see, he messed up. I told you he was going to do that. Let me raise up a good king for you. That way you can see the difference. Then he raised up David. Humility. Sacrifice. Y'all see that? Where they at?
And I'm just saying, I like how you said it because I enjoy delighting the Most High. And he said what? He delightfully shall forgive him.
Simple as that, right? The Most High delights in the cheerful giver. So if you want to delight the Most High, just like you said, that's what you do. And that's the mind state. Y'all see that? That should be the mind state. Where you at?
Acts chapter 4, verse 32.
Go ahead.
And the multitude of them that believed were of one heart and of one soul.
See, so when a brother like that says, I delighted in the Most High, so he loves a cheerful giver, that's what I'm going to be. That should be all of y'all mind. That should be all of our minds, right? Right, not mistrust over here and I'm just going to say I don't got it. That should be everybody's mind. To try to delight the Most High. Y'all see that? But again, it's between you and him. It ain't between you and us. Alright? Go ahead.
Neither said any of them that of the things which he possessed was his own.
See, they didn't have that selfish spirit. They didn't have that pride spirit. They weren't like, well, this is my stuff. I need this for my things. Y'all understand? But what did they do?
But they had all things common.
They had all things common. They all shared. My car is your car. My house is your house. Y'all see that? What? My food is your food, bro. If I eat, you eat. Y'all see that? That's what the Passover was supposed to teach us. That's why he said, every man a lamb for his house. And you go find the poor, if they don't have enough for a lamb, you bring them to your house. He was commanding us to exercise hospitality because the Egyptians didn't have that. They was a bunch of fat, overweight nothings that was greedy as hell. Oh, read the history. You laughing, man. They was like the most obese nation on the planet, just like America. Y'all see that? Because in America, that's what everybody's at. I gotta eat. Well, what about your brother? Does he gotta eat? What about your sister? Do they need to eat? You check on them? You getting fat. My pockets get fat. Yeah, because you ain't giving nothing out. Y'all see that? Your pockets get fat, but your brother on welfare. Or like the brother that... That's what's funny. I forgot to tell Kazaki about this, man. The other day, like actually yesterday, I was driving to do some errands, man. And that same brother that was scratching our number out and putting his number on the flyers and everything, and now they charging people to come to class and all that stuff like that. That same brother, his neighbor that lived right across from him, he brought him to one of our classes before, right? He recognized me when I was rolling down my window to give a couple bucks to the guys that asked for money for the drug programs to get people off drugs, and usually they're ex-druggies themselves, right? They're ex-druggies themselves, so he's over there. This is the brother's neighbor that he had brought to class way back. So he went up, moved out to Colorado, and he's living it up. Family man and everything, right? Making all kinds of money and all that. But his neighbor is standing on the street corner begging for change. Well, help me out with that one. Y'all making $150 for class and your neighbor got to beg for change? Wow. You introduce him to the Most High. You introduce him to the truth. And he's begging for change and you living up in the hills. Making CDs and stuff. Help me out with that. How's that work? Y'all see that? The Most High loves when you when your spirit is on point with him. Y'all see that? That's what he's gauging. He does it through a lot of y'all giving. Y'all see that? What?
Verse 33. And with great power gave the apostles witnesses of the resurrection.
Right? So they had everything common. It wasn't one of them was rich and the other one was begging for change. Y'all see that? And it said, and with great power gave the apostles witness of the resurrection of Yahushua. That's our intent. You see that? It wasn't like, oh, okay, and then when everybody gave it to the apostles, they went off and hit the Alps in Switzerland and skied all day. Right? Oh, they went and bought a yacht and went cruising. Nah, they started preaching about the resurrection of Christ even harder. Y'all see that? They did their work even more efficient and effectively. Y'all see that? Go ahead.
Resurrection of Yahushua, and great grace was upon them all.
So what happened? The Most High sent His grace on them, man. All their little past sins, that got forgiven. And you know what? In everything you do, everything you put your hands to, I'm going to make sure that works out for you. Grace was given to all of them. Go ahead.
Verse 34. Neither was there any among them that lacked.
See that? None of them lacked. None of them was short on bills that month. None of them was short on rent payments that month. Y'all see that? None of them lacked food. Why? Because they laid everything. Watch. You'll see. Read on.
For as many as were possessors of lands or houses
Wow.
sold them, and brought the prices of the things that were sold.
See that? They had lands and houses. They sold that, gave it over. Y'all see that? We ain't asking for all that. That's a pipe dream for us, man. Israel got a long way to go to get back to that. All right? But it says they sold them, and they did what?
And brought the prices of the things that were sold.
They brought them to the church, man. They brought them to the apostles. They brought them to Paul and Peter. You understand? They brought the money to Paul and Peter. When you read chapter 5, you had some cats promising that, vowing that, and they held some back. You see that? That's why I say you got to watch out for your vows. That vow is between you and the Most High. So if you hold anything back or you decide to renege on it, well, He takes care of that. You see that? When you read about Ananias and Sapphira and everything, and they vowed their vows, but they held some back, He killed them. Peter didn't do nothing. Y'all see that? Where you at?
Verse 35.
Right.
And laid them down at the apostles' feet.
Right. So they had trust, man. They weren't selfish. They had trust. Go ahead.
And distribution was made unto every man according to as he needed.
And they got to see that the apostles were about what they were talking about, because what? The apostles showed them, listen, I'm taking your 100,000 you made from selling your house. And this brother that's dirt poor and got busted shoes, I'm going to part him out 5,000 so he can get started, get back on his feet. And he's going to get 5,000. You're going to get 5,000. Everybody's going to be on equal ground. See that? See, America hates that. You know how you know? Because communism was founded off of this scripture I'm reading right now. Communism was this very act. It was the cats in China saying, listen, you're going to get land, we're going to get land, you're going to get land. All you have to do is farm it and give over the price of what you sell to the government. So that way we can give more people land that they can farm, and we can have a great nation. We can have an army, we can have a navy, we can do all this. You understand? Now, communism, though, the reason they tried to make it out like it was bad was because it was forced on the people. You see that? The emperor just said, we're doing this. And everybody had to just fall in line. But that meant everybody got free land given to them by the government. Y'all see that? Everybody could grow their own food enough for them and to feed their countrymen. Y'all see that? What did America do? That's wicked. Well, why is it wicked? Because you ain't making no money off it. Because the government ain't making no money off of that. You see that? That's all about making sure the people are good. We live in what is called a capitalist system. So you got communism and capitalism, right? See, y'all learning all kinds of things here. These are school terms, all right? We live in a capitalist system, which means if the government don't benefit from it, you ain't getting it. You don't get no benefit from it. You see that? Hey, you could be a drug dealer, but we want our cut. If you don't give us our cut, we're going to lock you up in jail and we'll get our cut that way. We'll make you a ward of the state, and then the federal government will pay us for you being in jail.
Wow.
That's capitalism. See that? We're going to shake you down and make sure you can sell drugs all you want. But every once a month, we're going to shake you down and act like we're trying to hassle you and everything, and then we're going to take a cut. And we'll put you right back on the street so you can do what you do. Y'all see that? That's capitalism. That's how that works. It's wicked as hell. But communism don't work that way. That's why they want to shut it down. You see that? Oh, we got to shut it down. That's what Vietnam was about. We got to shut down the threat of capitalism, the domino effect of capitalism. Why? Because we was watching Russia come up, China come up, right? Their people were strong, loyal, ready to fight to the death for those countries. We didn't have that here. You come back over here, cats was protesting the war and anti government and anti military here in the States. Why? Because it wasn't being fair. See that? The people weren't willing to die for this country, but in those countries they was willing to fight to the death. Why? Shoot, the government gave me my own damn acres. I can feed myself, my family, and my neighbor. They was willing to fight and die to keep that. So what did America do? They stepped in and said, we got to stop the threat of communism. It's crazy, man. And all that communism was what we're reading right here, man. Everybody had everything common. Y'all see that? Communism right there in the Bible. Everybody had everything common, man. Nobody wanted, nobody lacked. Go ahead.
Verse 36. And Joseph.
Verse 35, he said, and laid them down at the apostles' feet, and distribution was made unto every man according to that as he had need. Right? Go ahead.
And Joseph, who by the apostles was surnamed Barnabas, which is being interpreted, the son of consolation, a Levite, and of the country of Cyprus.
So this was a Levite priest. Okay? 10% of everything of Israel was supposed to go to the Levites. But what did this Levite priest do? Read.
Having land, sold it.
He had land, he sold it. Go ahead.
And brought the money and laid it at the apostles' feet.
Dang. Y'all see that? Even the priest was given to the apostles, man. To lay it at their feet. Y'all see that? This was all done willingly, man. You don't see nowhere in there that the apostles had to hit them up, hold a telethon, right? Lock the doors to the church and lock everybody in. Right. Y'all see that? Pass a collection plate. You didn't see none of that. Why? Because the people were all of one mind. They already were in the spirit to give. Y'all see it? I gotta make sure y'all see it, man, because otherwise this sounds like a long-winded stick-up session. You know what I mean? Like, man, you could have saved me some time, whipped the gun out, and just took my money. Why you saying all this? You get to the point, right? The spirit got to be in y'all, man. Because again, this word is going to grow. When we read Romans 10, right, it says, their sound went into all the earth. That's going to happen anyway. Y'all see that? With or without you. But the Most High is going to judge you at the end for what you did. We're going to keep teaching. You see that? Something will happen where we get to go down there if y'all don't do it. All right? That's not an opportunity for y'all to pull back and say, oh, okay, well, they're going to get it anyway. Let them handle it. Let's see what the Most High do. Because when the Most High do it, he's still going to revenge your pride. Y'all see that? He's still going to make sure he don't shed that grace on you like he did with them. So we got to understand that. And them phones got to be on silent. All right? When y'all come in, Sabbath.
Come.
Where was it? Go to Tobit 6. All right. And we're going to pull Numbers 29, verse 39 real quick.
Verse 29.
Yep. 29, verse 39.
Come. Numbers chapter 29, verse 39.
Let me know when y'all got it.
Numbers chapter 29, verse 39. These things ye shall do unto the Lord in your set feasts, besides your vows and your free will offerings, for your burnt offerings and for your meat offerings, and for your drink offerings, and for your peace offerings.
Right, see, you did these things in your set feasts beside your vows, beside your free will offerings, your burnt offerings, your meat offerings, your drink offerings, and your peace offerings. So we have many different types of offerings. So when they try to fool you with that, why your priest asked for money? Tithes was goats and fur and wheat and vegetables, right? Okay, but what about free will offerings, meat offerings, drink offerings, peace offerings, vows, and free will offerings? What about that? What do we give for that? What do we give for our offerings? We just read it in Exodus 25, right? What did we give, class?
Gold,
silver, brass.
Gold, silver, and brass. Then what? Materials, right?
Scarlet.
Right. All toward the work of the Most High. So we was like, hey, we need money for the school we about to do. Okay, the willing heart in you should be like, hey, school. Shoot, okay, well y'all gonna need more than just gold, man. I work at the place, man. I can give y'all reams of paper. Y'all gonna need that. You gonna need notebooks. Let me dedicate that. You're starting a school. Let me give you the things that have to do with building a school. If I have it, y'all see that? But you got niggas out there that are trying to trick you into, oh yeah, you ain't supposed to give money. We ain't asking it for us. Like I said, next month you might see me wearing this exact same outfit. You understand? You ain't gonna see me coming in an Armani because y'all gave y'all $150 a month. Y'all see that? You ain't gonna see me change up and all of a sudden I'm too good to answer the phone for y'all. Or Kazaki's too good to answer the phone for y'all anymore. Nah, we still gonna be the same thing we've been doing right now. We got put in this position because we passed up money to do this. Y'all see that? We passed up the filthy lucre and all that stuff like that we could have done. Just working at McDonald's alone, man. I counted $100,000 a day. That passed through my fingertips, and I didn't miss a cent. Y'all see that? And that was when I was a kid, when I should have been young and stupid and stole what I wanted to. I was the only guy out of the whole place that the manager was like, hey, yeah, count this with me. And I was just a manager in training. He was like, yeah, help me count this. We would literally count money that some of y'all ain't seen in your whole life in a day. Y'all see that? Some of that was half a day just to make a cash drop. You might count 50 G's, drop that in an envelope, and just send that out to the bank just so you didn't have stacks of money just sitting around in the place. And that's for McDonald's, man. Y'all see that? Meaning if I would have stole 50 G's, they probably wouldn't even notice. That's how much money they make at one store. Y'all see that? But the Most High knew I wasn't about that. That's why I didn't miss no money. So that's why I'm here. That's why he calls people like David from the sheep coat. You'll sacrifice for sheep. You'll do it for my people. Y'all see that? None of the priests that you see up here is in this for money. Alright? A lot better things we could do for that. Yeah, it was 4. Tobit 4.
What was the last scripture?
Numbers chapter 29, verse 39.
Start at 5.
Tobit chapter 4 and verse 5. My son, be mindful of the Lord our God all thy days.
See, that's what should be in your mind, man. Not these brothers that are asking, and I wonder if they're going to take my money and spend it on booze and alcohol and women. No. What should be on your mind is, what would the Most High think? Even when I give it, like I said, even when we give it on the streets now, right? You like, yeah, you know what? I got a couple bucks. I'm not even going to check and see if this homeless guy's going to jump in a Mercedes and drive off. You know what I mean? Why? Because after it's in his hand, the spirit of what just happened is in the Most High's sight. You see that? That's what he's watching. But am I going to give him $2 on the street corner and my brother can't eat tonight? No, I'm going to do good to the godly man even before that. Y'all see that? Because the Most High is checking my spirit. He wants to know if that's the mindset I have so I can advance. I ain't trying to advance with y'all. I ain't trying to advance on riches, neither is Kazaki, neither is this brother. None of us are trying to advance in this world's riches. David said these are the ungodly that prosper in this world. They increase in riches. Right? So why would we be doing that? We try to be godly. So we need that from y'all so we can go deal with San Antonio or deal with Trinidad and Tobago. Those are your brothers and sisters, man. Those are Jamaica and the West Indies, the tribe of Benjamin. Y'all see that? Which was once collectively known with Levi and the so-called Negro as the tribe of Judah. Those are literally the only people you had left when we was in Israel. And I'm saying you because most of the majority of class is Judah right now that I'm talking to, man. But these are the ones that stuck with us, man. They stuck with us while the other 9.5 fled and went and fled from Assyria into America. They stuck with us. They went into slavery with us. They was on the slave ships with us. We trying to go down there and bring them back from that slave mentality. Right. Just like we do here in the States for you so-called Negroes. Y'all see that? But what are you going to put forth? Y'all got to understand that. Y'all got to understand that. Read that again.
Tobit chapter 4 and verse 5. My son, be mindful of the Lord our God all thy days.
See, be mindful of the Most High all your days. Go ahead.
And let not thy will be set to sin, or to transgress his commandments.
Go ahead.
Do uprightly all thy life long, and follow not the ways of the unrighteousness.
Go ahead.
For if thou deal truly, thy doing shall prosperly succeed to thee.
See, if you deal truly, like I said, when you read Acts chapter 5, you read about Ananias and Sapphira. They didn't deal truly. They kept back part of the price. If you deal truly, if you don't hold back from the work the Most High has set to be done, okay, you can't work EO with the brothers. You can't sell oils with the brothers. Cool. You might not be physically able to go pass out flyers in the hot ass sun with the brothers. Okay, cool. But what is your brick going to be that you put in to build this building? Is it just going to be, I had an excuse out of everything? I couldn't do that because my back hurt. I couldn't do that because I had a headache. Okay, well, cool. I'm too old. I'm too young. This and that. Okay, fine. Can you give? Is your back too broke to give? Right? Does your head hurt too much to give? Are you too young, too old? Help me out. Y'all see that? There's no excuse around alms and giving and love. Those are things that have to do with your spirit.
Right?
Y'all see that? Go ahead.
Verse 7. Give alms of thy substance.
Okay, so of your substance. Talking about all the things you have, like they did in Acts. Y'all see that? You give alms of your substance, man. So whenever Satan trying to trick you with that, they always just hitting you for money. We shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have to hit you for money. You're supposed to obey the scriptures, man. Give alms of your substance. Who got the definition for alms, man? We need that. Read that again.
Tobit chapter 4 and verse 7. Give alms of thy substance.
Right.
And when thou givest alms, let not thy eye be envious.
See? let's say Freestyle 1. Do you think the account of Nimrod will rise from hell is true? You got to show me where that account is for. Who just hit me up? Oh, okay. You got to show me where that account that Nimrod will rise from hell. Show me where that is. But that ain't biblical. And he said, I am taking GOCC $150 class. I hope it's worth it. Alright, where you at? You got alms.
I got the definition of Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary. It says kind deeds arising out of compassion, mercy, pity for the unfortunate.
Okay, read it again. Kind deeds doing what?
Kind deeds arising out of compassion, mercy, pity for the unfortunate.
Damn. That's how where it's supposed to arise from, man. Mercy, pity for compassion, pity for the unfortunate, pity for people that don't have it the way y'all got it.
Right.
That's where your alm's supposed to arise from. So does that sound like something that we can judge you on, that we can condemn you on? Right, we don't know if you have that in you. You see that? That's something to show through your works. What other, we'll get there, man. We had, did we have some more questions on there?
Yes, sir.
I gotta hit those. We'll come back to that, man. But, what was the other question?
The next question is from Maria Joseph. She said, how can you become an Israelite?
How do you become an Israelite?
How can you become an Israelite?
Okay. First of all, do you have the 12 tribes sign that you can flash on there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You don't need that. Wait. She's gonna put it up on the screen. When you to become a Hebrew Israelite, for one, that's a nationality. Hebrew is just the language of the people of the Bible, and Israelite is their nationality. It's their nation that they came from. All right. And you would have to be born from Jacob, the man named Jacob in the Bible, or be one of his descendants. All right, it's a nationality. It's not a religion. So you can't just like switch over. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden I'm a Hebrew Israelite. But there were converts. All right, if you want to call them, for lack of a better term, there were converts. There were people that they got the circumcision. All right. They took on the ways, the law, statutes, and commandments that were given to Israelites, and they converted from their ways over to the ways of the Hebrews. All right. So it's not like a religion where you're just like, oh yeah, you just throw some money in the plate, fill out this little membership card, and you're a Hebrew Israelite. Yeah, see that? It was by birth or conversion. All right. Did I call it scripture?
We're still on Tobit 4.
For the question. So she said, how do I become a Hebrew Israelite? And you put that sign up?
Yes, sir. It's on.
Okay. So you will have to be a member of one of these tribes. Now, these are just the ones that cover the Western Hemisphere, all right? Do not kill yourself if you don't see yourself on the sign. If you come and pay attention to classes, we let you know where these Hebrews are all over the world, all right? We got one of our YouTube videos that says what Egyptology does not want you to know, where we show you that we're the founders of a lot of different nations. Hebrew Israelites are the founders of China. All right? When you deal with High Priest Yeshaya and a lot of his teachings and things like that, you find out that, dang, there's a lot of Japanese that we over there, some other camps are over there calling them names on the street corner and everything, and it turned out those are Israelites. Because to ascend the throne in Japan and China and stuff like that, the emperors used to have to state that they were of the lost tribes of the nation of Israel. All right. So you're gonna find out that there's people of these lineages that you see on your left-hand side of the sign: Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Asher, Naphtali, and Issachar. Those people constitute the 12 tribes of Israel by nationality. All right. So over here in the Western Hemisphere, you would be of the tribe of Judah. You would be the so-called Negro or West Indian or Haitian. The 9.5 tribes Israel. You would be of the tribe of Levi, Haitian, Dominican, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Seminole Indian, all the way down to the so-called Mexicans. All right. So that's it. How you are that by nationality. So if you fit one of those nationalities, you already are a Hebrew Israelite, whether you like it or not. Like I said, it's not a religion. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm a Catholic. Why? Because I put on the little white collar today. Because I ate the bread the preacher was giving out. That makes you a Catholic, right? Oh, why are you a Buddhist? Oh, because I beat myself in front of a big fat guy golden statue. Oh, okay, so you could be a Buddhist. You could be a black Buddhist, right? You don't have to be Chinese to be a Buddhist, right? You don't got to be Italian to be Catholic, right? Because those are religions. This is a nationality, all right? So to become of this nation, you would either do it by conversion or birth, all right? And by conversion, that means you got some that married into it. You got some other nations that married, and then their children are Hebrew Israelites because the father is a Hebrew Israelite. You see that? But again, going to the scriptures, they are not all Israel that are of Israel. You have to be one here. You got to be one in your spirit. You got to be one by following the law, statutes, and commandments. All right? What else we got?
Next question? Or no?
Yeah.
Next question is, I want to know about the heating of food on Sabbath.
The heating of food on the Sabbath. Let's go there, man. Let's go there. But we've done this many times before with the Sabbath, and it's always a landmine, man. Because there's a right way to answer it, but it's going to require humility of the mind of the person that's asking. All right, because some, they get the word and they get the letter of the law and they say, okay, there is nothing you can do on the Sabbath. All you can do is sit there in the dark and not light no fires, and you can't turn no lights on, and you ain't supposed to travel, you ain't supposed to buy or sell, right? And then you got the mind of Christ, which gives you the understanding, right? Who got that for me? Who got what Christ's mind was concerning the Sabbath?
Mark
Scholars, man. We need the scholars. Yeah, do that. Let's see. Start at Mark 2 and verse 23.
Mark chapter 2, verse 23. Mm-hmm. Mark chapter 2, verse 23.
Everybody got it? Huh? All right. Yeah. If y'all got it, let's read it.
John chapter 5, verse 17.
No.
Oh,
Mark 2 and 23.
Mark chapter 2, verse 23. And it came to pass that when he went through the cornfields on the Sabbath day, and his disciples began as they went to pluck the ears of corn. And
so they were on the Sabbath day. Christ and his disciples were on the Sabbath day going through the field plucking the ears of corn. Go ahead.
And the Pharisees said unto him, Behold, why do they on the Sabbath day that which why do they on the Sabbath day that which is not lawful?
So he said, wait a minute, why are they on the Sabbath day going and picking the ears of corn? Right? Why that ain't lawful. You're supposed to just sit in your room in the dark, right? Now we ain't gonna take no note to the fact that the Pharisees are seeing them do this, so that way that means that they ain't in their home sitting in the dark, right? We won't mention that part again. Go ahead.
Verse 25. And he said unto them, have ye never read that David did, what David did when he had need and was in hunger, he and they that were with him? How
Right.
he
Did you read what David did when they were when he was running away from Saul? Him and them that were with him. What did they do? Read.
How he went into the house of God in the days of Abiathar,
Right.
the high priest, and did eat the showbread, which is not lawful to eat but for the priest.
Right. Didn't you read that? Don't you read that in your scriptures? That David, when him and his men were hungry, they went to the priest's house and they went and asked him for the showbread to eat because they were starving. And it's not lawful for no man other than the priest to even touch that. Read.
And gave also to them which were with him.
Right. And he gave to them that were with him. See that?
Gone.
So what are we doing on the Sabbath day? We're feeding ourselves. What does it look like? Y'all see that?
Gone.
Like, what do you think we're doing? We ain't gonna cornhole each other with these stalks of corn, man. We over here trying to eat. Go ahead.
Verse 27. And he said unto them, the Sabbath was made for man.
What's that?
The Sabbath was made for man.
Who was the Sabbath made for?
The Sabbath was made for
It
man.
was made for the Most High only.
The Sabbath was made for man.
Yeah, it said the Sabbath was made for you. Y'all see that?
Gone.
Go ahead.
And not man for the Sabbath.
So that means even in the time of creation, when the Most High was doing all the works, right? And he ended his works on the seventh day. And he said, this day is going to be holy to y'all throughout all your generations. Well, why did he give it to us? Because it was made for us. When he did it himself and he rested on the Sabbath day, it was for what? For an example to you. Y'all see that? Because when you go to St. John 5:17, Christ says, my Father worketh hitherto, so I work. Y'all see that? Well, that means the Most High doesn't rest every Sabbath day. He just did it that time. So what was that? That was an example for you to get rest on the Sabbath day. Y'all see that? It was made for your benefit. Now, if it doesn't benefit you because you got all the lights off in your house and you're starving to death because you don't want to eat, right? Or you sitting there, not heating up things, so your baby's drinking curdled milk, or like you ain't put the breast milk in the pot to let it get warm, so the baby got to drink cold milk, right? And they won't drink it because it's not warm like the breast milk is supposed to be, right? Then what? The baby's supposed to starve to death? Well, according to the law, right? According to the letter of the law, according to these Pharisees, that's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to let the baby starve. You're supposed to not eat. You're supposed to have had it. You're supposed to have had it prepared the night before. But it gets cold. So I can only eat what? Cereal on the Sabbath? Help me out. Finger sandwiches? I don't understand.
Fruit.
Right. But didn't we read in the law plenty of times that everybody got together and they had a holy convocation and they had a feast on the Sabbath? Well, what's a feast? Cold food? Y'all see that? Yeah, you can heat up food on the Sabbath. If you gotta eat. Alright? But keep it holy. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. That's the whole point. For you to rest your mind from trying to think up all the wickedness you think of during the week. For you to leave that alone, at least for one day, man. Because if you can do it for one day, you can train your body to do it for 2 days, and then 3 days, and then weeks, and then months. And you can train yourself to literally treat every day like a Sabbath, man. And be holy every day. So if you could start, it's like a fast. If you could start with just one day, not eating, You can train yourself that, hey, you know what? That wasn't so bad. Let me try 2 days. Let me try 3. It'll build a mind state in you that you can do it. Y'all see that? But if you can't even lay off, you got brothers saying it's okay. Oh, the Sabbath was the Sabbath was we can't keep our Sabbaths now because we're in captivity. We're in a defiled place, so we can't keep the Sabbath no more. That's why I have sex with my woman on Saturday night or Friday nights. Okay, well, bro, you mean you're telling me you can't exercise your body to 1 day not have sex? Just for 1 day, just don't do it. Y'all see that? You ain't got the discipline for that. That's all he's saying, man. Give your stuff a time to recharge, man. I was watching these YouTube videos by this brother Patrick Delves, man. Brother Machado put me on this cat named Patrick Delves, and he's showing you like after about the age of about 25 or 30, something like that, about the age of 30, your body doesn't, for men, your body doesn't create as many sperm as it used to. So when you were, 18, 19, you was busting at the seams and you was making them every night. But see, when you get older, you only make them every 3 days. That's why you got brothers start walking around, with no energy and stuff like that. They're still trying to keep up with their 18-year-old lust. You know what I mean? And your body is not regenerating that energy every 3 days. Y'all see that? Okay, well, that means that the Sabbath was made for you. Chill out. At least 1 day. That way if you bump into a nigga like Patrick Delves and you start hearing that, you like, oh, I ain't supposed to do it but every 3 days? Well, you already put off 1 day. You can start building up to 2 and then 3. Y'all see that? So he gave you that so you can learn from, so you can put your flesh in subjection at least that 1 day. Then when you deal with that guy, he tells you the same thing about fasting. You got to fast at least 1 day a week. It gives your body a time to rest. Y'all see that? Now he ain't talking about Sabbaths and everything. He's just a medical doctor telling you have to do this for your body's sake. So when Christ says the Sabbath was made for man and not man for the Sabbath, that's literal. It's made for you to chill the hell out. Y'all see that? Like me and Kazakis, a lot of times we'll fast on the Sabbath. Why? It gives your body that time to rejuvenate. Now we didn't know it medically like that. I didn't know it medically like that. But the Most High did. Y'all see that? And no, I'm not commanding y'all to fast on the Sabbath or even saying that that's what you have to do. But medically, that's what they say, that you should do it 1 week. And spiritually, scripturally, the Most High said, 1 day out of the week, keep that holy. Keep yourself clean. Keep yourself undefiled. Chill out. Rest. Y'all see that? So if he ordered rest on that day, and then medically you're looking at, hey, you should let your body rest, maybe y'all should fast on that day. So you don't have to worry about heating up food. This ain't even an issue no more. Y'all see that? But he that has an ear, let him hear. Because not all men can receive that either. Some people are like, I'll die if I don't eat every 2 hours. Well, then this ain't for you. Alright? It's not a commandment of the Most High that you fast on the Sabbath. Alright? Who had the hand up? You?
Isaiah 58:13.
Oh, right, about the Sabbaths, right. Let's get the next question. It's good, but they was just asking if it's okay to heat up food on the Sabbath. So that's perfect for that, man. It's going to that, showing them that Christ was eating the ears of corn on the Sabbath. Y'all see that? Go ahead.
Next question is, can I wear my fringes on my undervest? I can't wear it on my work uniform at all.
That's fine. If they're telling you can't wear it at work, then you can't wear it at work. I mean, but if it helps you, then yeah, you can wear that. You can wear it on an undervest or whatever. The point of it was though, when you go to Numbers 15 and verse 38. See, Actually, no. You don't wear it on your undervest. All right? Just no. I'm just going to keep it simple. Read Numbers 15 to 38.
Numbers chapter 15 and verse 38.
Because this one's not up to your own decision. You know what I mean? It's not like, well, if you got to work and they tell you got to shave your beard. Well, it's up to you. If you have to keep that job, if you can't find nothing else, then do what you got to do. Feed your family, right? This one's not up to you. The laws on fringes are clear. Read that.
Numbers chapter 15 and verse 38. Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments.
Right, they got to make fringes in the borders of their garments. Go ahead. Their garments.
Throughout.
Not the company garments from the work you have, but your own garments. All right. So you're not gonna fringe up your company vest. You're not gonna fringe up your Taco Bell uniform. You know what I mean? Make fringes in the borders of your garments. Go ahead.
Throughout their generations.
Throughout your generations. Go ahead.
And that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
And it has to be a ribbon of blue there. Go ahead.
Verse 39. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it.
That you may what?
Look upon it.
What's the point of the fringe?
Look upon it.
That you may look upon it. Go ahead.
And remember all the commandments of the Lord.
Right. And remember all the commandments of the Lord. This is the point, that you can look on it. So if it's tucked in under your pants, right? Or if it's under your vest, you can't look on it. There's no point to it. All right? And that you remember the commandments of the Most High. So if you wear fringes and you're committing adultery, guess what? You're still breaking the law. Y'all see that? There's no point to your fringes. If you break the law and you were circumcised, there's no point to your circumcision. Ain't that what Paul said? Your circumcision has become uncircumcision. Right? So if you're wearing the fringes, it's supposed to remind you to keep the commandments of the Most High. Go ahead.
And do them, and that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes.
Right. Y'all see that? Okay. So that's what the point of the fringes are. Organized chaos. Judges 19 verse 2 through 3. Are concubines considered wives as well? Let's see. Judges 19 verse 24. These men threw out the woman to save themselves. I guess these are separate questions. So, Judges 19, verse 2 through 3. So, back in the day, the days of the scriptures, men had concubines. Okay? Y'all with me on that, right?
Done.
They had women, extra, what you would call an extramarital affair now. They had women that was outside of they regular marriage that they would deal with. And, for whatever reason. And he's asking, are they considered wives? Okay? So let's read that.
Judges chapter 19 and verse 2. And his concubine played the whore against him, and went away from him unto her father's house to Bethlehem, Judah, and was there 4 whole months. Verse 3. And her husband arose and went after her to speak friendly unto her, and to bring her again, having his servant with him, and a couple of his asses.
All right, so hold that. Now, so far as, just going back to the fringes under the clothes thing, all right? If, like I said, if it's something that makes you feel like, that's what you need to do, you're not unrighteous for doing it. So, you can wear fringes under the clothes, but again, the point of it, according to the scriptures, is that you will be able to look on them, all right? That other people will be able to look on that also and know that you follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. So that's the point of it. But if like I said, if it helps you, if it makes you feel like, okay, that I need that extra push in righteousness, or I need to feel more connected, then yeah, it's not unlawful to rock your fringes. All right. But yeah, the point of them we just read in the scripture. All right. So I'm sorry for that. I won't say you absolutely can't do that. No. If you're going to rock your fringes, rock your fringes. But the point of it is that you can be able to look on it and remember the laws and commandments of the Most High. All right?
Come.
So where are we at again?
This is Judges chapter 19 and verse 3.
All right, so read that again.
Judges chapter 19 and verse 2. And his concubine played the whore against him, and went away from him unto her father's house to Bethlehem, Judah, and was there 4 whole months.
Right, so the concubine was basically, she was your kind of what you would call side chick now, right? She was that, but she wasn't dealing with nobody else. Y'all see that? Because that would be adultery anyway, right? Okay, so she played, when it says she played the whore, why did she play the whore? Because she went and dealt with somebody else. All right, go ahead.
Verse 3. And her husband arose and went after her.
Right, so now it says her husband, right? Because technically when you go into a woman, that's your husband. But like I said, a concubine was a person of a different type of honor. Generally, they were maybe of another nation. Y'all see that? But it wasn't a person that you had in the status of a wife. She wasn't living in your house. She had her own place. Or if she was living in your place, she had a side place away from your other wife or whatever. We had money like that. All right? So far as them being husband and wife, technically, yeah, because of the fact that he had sex with this woman. All right? And that's according to what? The marriage laws, right? All right, Deuteronomy 22:28, it shows you when you go into a woman, that's your wife, right? Go ahead.
And to bring her again, having his servant with him and a couple of asses. And she brought him into her father's house. And when the father of the damsel saw him, he rejoiced to meet him. Verse 4.
Wait. So, that should have answered that question on that. We just were reading that for, it was 2 through 3, right?
Okay.
And then, okay, verse 24.
Verse 24. Behold, here is my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them I will bring out now, and humble ye them.
No, they didn't do that to save themselves. It was just like Lot did. They did for this priest. When you're reading that story, let me get there with y'all. But when you're reading that story, man, this priest, he comes and lodges with these people. All right, and the people of that city, I think it was Benjamite city. Those men surround the house and they tell him, we want that man and his concubine. Let's see. Yeah, it's verse 17. And when he had lifted up his eyes, he saw a wayfaring man in the street of the city. And the old man said, Whither goest thou, and whence comest thou? And he said unto him, We are passing from Bethlehem, Judah, toward the side of Mount Ephraim. From thence am I. And I went to Bethlehem, Judah, but I am now going to the house of the Lord, and there is no man that receiveth me to his house. See that? So this man was traveling. He stopped at these people's house in Gibeah, which is a city of Benjamin. All right. And it said, verse 20, and the old man said, Peace be with you. Howsoever, let all thy wants lie upon me, only lodge not in the street. So he told this priest, listen, come in my house. Don't worry about whatever you need. I'll take care of that. You see that? So again, that willing spirit, that willing mind to give, right? He took the priest in and his concubine, right? So when you get down to verse 24, we'll do 23. It says, And the master of the house, went out unto them and said unto them, man, here we go. I'm going to have to read from 21. So he brought him into his house and gave provender unto the asses, and they washed their feet, and did eat and drink. So this man took in this priest. Now as they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of Belial, meaning sons of uselessness, beset the house round about, and beat at the door, and spake to the master of the house, the old man, saying, Bring forth the man that came into your house, that we may know him. So these Benjamite men surrounded this old man's house and said, Bring that priest out so we can have sex with him.
I don't know.
It was faggots, man. All right? And they wanted to rape this priest. Verse 23. And the master of the house went out unto them and said, Hey, said unto them, Nay, my brethren, nay, I pray you, do not so wickedly, seeing that this man is coming to my house. Do not this folly. He didn't want them laying hands on the Most High's priest. You understand?
Come on.
He said, verse 24, Behold, here's my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them I will bring out now, and humble you them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you, but unto this man do not so vile a thing. See that? So he's like, listen, don't be trying to come on to this priest, man. Look, you could take my daughter and you could take his concubine, but don't mess with this priest, man. Y'all see that? So he's doing the same thing Lot did in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. The people of Sodom and Gomorrah, they wanted to rape the angels. When the angels came to Lot's house, they was like, hey, bring those men out so we may know them, right? They wanted to rape the angels. He said, listen, don't do so wickedly. He said, listen, I got my daughters in here. I'll give you them. Y'all see that? And they refused the daughters because they wanted to rape these angels. Well, you're reading the same story echoed right here. These men were so lustful in that homosexuality that they wanted this man, and he was offering them, here, you could take my virgin daughter, you could take his concubine if you want to. At least be natural about it. You know what I mean? But don't go rape the priest, yeah? Alright? So yeah, they weren't doing that. The old man wasn't doing it to save himself. He was doing it to save that priest. And actually to save those men. Because if they would have went and raped that priest, the Most High's judgment would have been on them real swift and real hard. Judges 21 verse 10 through 14.
Judges 21 verse 10.
Mm-hmm. Y'all got it?
Come on.
All right.
Judges
I hear that con when y'all got it, all right?
Come on. Judges chapter 21 and verse 10. And the congregation sent thither 12,000 men of the valiantest, and commanded them, saying, Go and smite the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead with the edge of the sword, with the women and the children.
Okay, keep reading through verse 14.
Verse 11. And this is the thing that ye shall do. Ye shall utterly destroy every male and every woman, and hath lain by men.
Right, so this was the men of Jabesh Gilead. These were not Israelites. All right, these were Hamites. It's where a lot of these Benjamite men learned all that homosexuality. It was from the homosexual sodomite Africans, as you call them today, that were around them. All right, not saying all Africans on the whole continent are sodomites, saying that those Hamites, the descendants of Ham, we know a lot of them as the North Africans, or you call them Egyptians, Ethiopians. All right, these are the Hamite nations. They had a sodomitish nature to them. All right. And a lot of our people had started learning those ways, as you read back in Judges 19. All right. So these men in Jabesh Gilead were neighbors of ours, but they were Hamites. We had not utterly destroyed all the sodomites. When you go to Joshua and you read about how Joshua was ordered to destroy all the nations that were around us, all the Canaanites and all that. He said, go destroy the Amalekites, the Canaanites, things like that. Why? Because they were sinners. They was against the ways of the Most High. They was all becoming faggots. All right? So the men of Jabesh Gilead, when you go into the history of that, they had dressed, a couple of their men had dressed up like they was homeless and came to Joshua like, hey, we need help. Make a league with us and help our nation. And then, because they knew he was going to come and slaughter their whole nation. So he made a league with them, not knowing that they were of the nations that the Most High said to destroy. Alright? So that became a problem for us as you read through the history of Israel. The people of Gilead became a problem for us because it was full of Hamites, but we couldn't destroy them because we had made a bond of peace with them. All right. So we couldn't destroy them because the other nations would be like, oh, they don't honor their oaths. They don't even stick to the word that the Most High gave them to honor their oaths and their vows. Y'all see that? Right. So, kind of touching on the class we was going into, but we had to make sure that we had that appearance of the other nations knowing that we keep our word. All right. But the people of Gilead, they didn't change their ways and they was living right amongst us. Y'all see that? There was faggots and homosexuals and everything like that, and dykes and all that, and it had left off the natural use of the woman as a nation, and it was right in the middle of Israel doing it. So we had a whole nation, but we had this one city where these people was just disgusting, and all our people was able to see that as they would travel through Israel. Y'all see that? It was not supposed to happen, but that's why a lot of our people, especially when you read about the Benjamites in these stories, that they became homosexual. They was learning that from these people that was right in the middle of Israel. Y'all see that? All right, so where you at?
This is Judges chapter 21 and verse 12.
Wow.
And they found among the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead 400 young virgins that had not known no man by lying with any male. And they brought them unto the camp to Shiloh, which is in the land of Canaan.
Right.
Verse 13. And the whole congregation sent some to speak to the children of Benjamin that were in the rock Rimmon, and to call peaceably unto them.
Mm-hmm.
And Benjamin came again at that time, and they gave them wives, which they had saved alive of the women of Jabesh Gilead, and yet so they sufficed them not.
Right. So there was about 600 men left of the tribe of Benjamin at this time. It was 613 men, because the Most High destroyed most of the tribe of Benjamin by another nation in Israel. He had them almost wipe them out to the last man because of that homosexuality they enjoyed so much. All right. This happened in Israel. All right. So he had another tribe of Israel come in and wipe them out almost down to the last 613 men. So when they took these women from these sodomites, right? They made them slay everyone, the men, the women, and any woman that had a child in her, because he didn't want none remaining of those people. All right. But he saved those women that had not been impregnated, or they were virgins, they hadn't been touched by a man, so that there was no seed in them from no man. Y'all see that? That way they can go ahead and be the ground for the men of Benjamin to reproduce with and make Benjamin a tribe again. All right. So you got to get out your feelings. You can't be in your feelings when you read the scriptures, man. A lot of this stuff was because those nations were wicked as hell, and the Most High decided to wipe them off the map, including most of the tribe of Benjamin. All right, including Israel. He didn't spare. He's not a respecter of persons. You do wickedness, he wipe you off the map. All right. And this was being done. So we can't be like, oh my God, he had these people killed just so they could take their women. Yeah, he had these wicked sodomite homosexuals that had left off the natural use of their women, wasn't even using them for pleasure and sex anymore hardly, right? And had went almost wholly over to men, right? He had them wiped out. And he took their women. There was only 400 women. You understand? There was, there was 400 women in the city that no man had laid with. Now you show me a city where they got 400 women like that today. All right? There was 400 women in the city that no man had touched. Why? Because they was all faggots now. So he said, take their women, since they ain't using them, take their women, put Israelite seed in them, and make Benjamin a tribe again. Y'all see that? All right. So again, you can't look at it as a sentimental, or you can't look at it as a person with from a so-called that's not right kind of standpoint. You can't look at it like with a politically correct mind state. The Most High don't care about your politics. Right? If he says some faggots is gonna die, they gonna die. And if you say the women that they weren't using is going to be given to Israelites to put them to use, then that's what he's going to do. And who are we to judge? All right. So yeah, that did happen. They did wipe them out and take their women. And yes, it was okay. Can I post my question here? Yeah, you can post questions on here. Psalms 9 verse 5 through 8.
Come, Psalms chapter 9 verse 5. Come, Psalms chapter 9 verse 5. Thou hast rebuked the heathen, thou hast destroyed the wicked, thou hast put out their name forever and ever. Verse 6. O thou enemy, destruction are come to a perpetual end, and thou hast destroyed cities. Their memorial is perished with them, but the Lord shall endure forever. He hath prepared his throne for judgment, and he had to what? Verse 12. Verse 12.
I'm sorry. You with him? Psalm 95 9 verse 5 through 8, right? You're in verse what?
I was at verse 7. Verse 8. And he shall judge the world in righteousness. He shall minister judgment to the people in uprightness.
Oh, okay. That's a future prophecy. The explanation of that is that's a future prophecy that David knew because David was a prophet. All right. When you read Acts 13, you find out David was a prophet and he was prophesying things that were even going to happen in the end times. So when Christ come back, he's going to destroy all the wicked. All right. And then they're going to worship and serve him forever. All right. The rest of the people that are left are going to worship and serve him forever. All right. So let's see what else. Do women have equal right as men? Let's get that first. Everybody go to 1 Corinthians 11.
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1.
Come, 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances as I've delivered them to you.
Okay, so do women have equal rights as men? Let's see, read.
Come, verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Yahushua.
Okay.
And the head of the woman is the man.
So do we have the same rights? Do we as men have the same rights as Christ? Right? Go ahead.
And the head of Yahushua is the Most High.
Okay, wait, read again.
Oh, slop. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Yahushua.
Okay.
And the head of the woman is the man.
So therefore the woman wouldn't have the same rights as the man. She's subordinate. She's in submission to the man. Alright? Just like the man is in submission to Christ. And Christ, read.
And the head of Yahushua is God.
Right. Christ is in submission to the Most High. Y'all see that? Alright, so we got Christ, his head is the Most High, right? Let's get this one. Philippians chapter 2 verse 7.
Come, Philippians chapter 2 verse 7.
6, sorry.
Come, Philippians chapter 2 verse 6. Who being...
Start at 5, I'm sorry, man. Philippians 2 verse 5.
Come, Philippians chapter 2 verse 5.
I'm messing everybody's notes up. Go ahead.
Come, let this mind be in you, which was also in Yahushua.
Go ahead.
Who being in the form of the Most High.
So he was in the form of the Most High, just like all of us men are, right? We're the image and glory of the Most High. Go ahead.
Thought it not robbery to be equal with the Most High.
See, it wouldn't have been robbery for him to be equal with the Most High. Why? Because he did create us. He created these things, and the Most High had given him his power and his authority. But what did Christ do? Read.
Come, but made himself of no reputation.
See that? He made himself of no reputation. He took that humble route. Go ahead.
And took upon him the form of a servant.
Go ahead.
And was made in the likeness of men.
See that? So this is what Christ did, man. He humbled himself. Yeah, you women were made at the same time as us. True. Alright? Y'all were made at the same time as us. Don't let the church fool you. But at the same time, he put y'all under us. Y'all were to be in submission to your man. Alright? So yeah, you guys were made at the same time. Y'all was given the same wisdom. Don't eat from that tree. Y'all was given all that. But when Eve bit that fruit, who did the Most High hold accountable? Eve or Adam?
Adam.
There you go. Y'all see that? What's that?
And like when she ate the fruit, ain't nothing happened. But ain't nothing happened to when he ate it. They both ate.
Then it was a problem. See that? Why? Because now, okay, your woman out of order, she done ate the fruit, but you done partook of it too. See that? Now who's gonna lead her? Who's gonna bring her back from the dark side she done stepped into? Y'all both worthless, man. Y'all see that? So it wasn't until that man transgressed that now everybody's screwed. Now it's a problem. Y'all see that? Because she was supposed to be in submission to you. But you were supposed to check that spirit before she came to the door, man. Y'all see that? So yeah, we are responsible for that, and that submission does belong to y'all. Y'all were supposed to be in submission to us. What was that? Right, exactly. 1 Peter 3, verse 1.
Say it again.
1 Peter 3, verse 1.
1 Peter chapter 3, verse 1.
Now, this is regarding wives and husbands, so this ain't necessarily talking about do women have equal right as men. All right? But it is talking about between wives and a husband. Go ahead.
1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word.
So you wives are supposed to be in subjection to your own husbands. Y'all see that? All right, go ahead.
That if any obey not the word, they also without the word be won by the conversation of the wives.
Right, so that's why you're supposed to be in submission to your husband, so that if your man, even if he wasn't a believer, he would see that, oh dang, I got a humble wife, man. Where'd she learn that from? That's rare. Where did she find that? Oh, from the scriptures? Let me try that out. All right? 1 Timothy 2 and 12. That's still about wives, though. Wives and husbands. So I want to go to 1 Timothy 2 and 12. Because this question is just on the basic subject of, is the woman on the same, do they have equal rights as men? All right.
1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to assert authority over the man.
Right, neither to usurp authority, meaning take the authority of a man. Y'all see that? So a man that means a man's given the authority already. And a woman would be out of place for taking that authority from him. Y'all see that? So that's why she's not suffered to teach, as in what we do up here. Alright? No, she doesn't have equal rights as a man. Under Christ, so far as like, should she obey the word? Yes. Alright? Does she have the same rights? Like, no. When you go through the law, if she had given birth to a male child even, she was unclean for like 30 days. If she had given birth to a female child, she was unclean for like 90 days. So there was a difference even at your birth. that you defiled your mother for a certain amount of time if you were a boy, and for a longer amount of time if you were a girl. Because he want to show you it ain't equal like that. Alright? So he don't suffer women to teach nor to usurp authority over the men. Alright? So let's see, what else we got? No, the questions.
Matthew 22, 1 through 14.
Matthew 22, verse 1 through 14. Yeah, let's do it.
Matthew chapter 22, verse 1. And Yahushua answered and spake unto them again by parables, and said, The kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his sons, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come. Again, he sent forth other servants, saying, Tell them which are bidden, Behold, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen and my fatlings are killed, and all things are ready. Come unto the marriage. But they made light of it, and went their ways, one to his farm, another to his merchandise, and the remnant took his servants, and entreated them spitefully, and slew them. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and he sent forth his army, and destroyed those murderers, and burned up their city. Then said he to his servant, The wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage. So those servants went out in the highways, and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good. And the wedding was furnished with guests. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on wedding garment, which had not on a wedding garment. And he said unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither, not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Then said the king to the servant, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth, for many are called, but few are chosen.
All right, the G on that is silent. All right, gnashing of teeth. Go ahead. So that was it on that? All right, so basically, he's giving you the parable that a man went and sent his servants out. He said, listen, I made this big feast, right? Like Diddy does this all the time, man. He makes these big elaborate parties and everything. He got it all set up, right? Okay, so he had all this elaborate feast set up, and it killed all his fatlings, all the fattest sheep and everything, and was ready for everybody to eat, right? He made this big feast ready for everybody, and he sent his servants out to go send out the invites, right? Go invite all these people that I know. All right. They went out. They went to invite the people. The people beat on the servants. Y'all see that? They beat on the servants and treated them like they was crap. And was like, yeah, we don't know that guy. We gonna act like we don't know him. So they didn't come. So when the man that was throwing the feast found out, he said, you know what? Send my armies and go destroy them. All right. And you know what? Just find anybody, man. Just go out there and find some people that can come eat this food and party with me. Y'all see that? So they did that. All right. Now the parable there, what you're supposed to be seeing there, is the Most High sent prophets out to Israel, man. He sent prophets out into the world to tell Israel what to do and how to come to get to heaven, man. How to receive eternal life. And what did we do? We killed the prophets, man. We beat and killed the prophets and decided we were going to reject the invitation of the Most High. Like we didn't know him. So what did he do? He did what he said he was going to do in the book of Romans. He said, I'm going to hide my face from them. I'll see, or he said this in Deuteronomy. I'll see what their end shall be. Right? And he said he was gonna give his glory to another nation. To a people that are no people. Right? Find me that one where it says them that are no people. Because we just went through that the other day. Right? It's in Romans where he said to them that are no people. Yeah, it's in Deuteronomy too if you find it, but yeah, just let me know when you get it. But this is what he did. He went ahead and sent the invites out to everybody then. Go you therefore and teach all nations, man. Go preach to the Jews and the Gentiles that are scattered throughout all the nations and everything, but the other nations go hear it too. And if they want to do what is commanded and give again what they had robbed and restore the pledge and do all those things that it commands in Ezekiel 33:15, then okay, they can come to the feast. All right, but it says when it goes down and it says that a man came to the feast and he wasn't dressed in the right garments. So when you read Revelation chapter 19, verse 8, you find out that these righteous men were given clean garments, clean and white, the clean garments of the righteousness of the saints. So these men that came in amongst Israel, they weren't righteous. They were the ones that, hey, didn't we in your name cast out devils, and didn't we do these things in your name? And he said, depart from me, I never knew you. Man. Why? Because you work iniquity. Y'all find that?
Romans chapter 11 and verse 2.
Right. And give me the one in Deuteronomy then. Read that.
Which one first?
Deuteronomy
chapter 32, verse 21.
Uh-huh.
They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not of the Most High.
See? So what did Israel do? We decided, you know what? We don't care about your feast, man. We ain't going to your feast. We ain't going to deal with your holidays and your holy days. We're going to deal with Christmas and pagan Babylonian customs like finding Easter eggs and Halloween and things like that. We don't care about your feast. That's the same thing that you're seeing in that scripture. Go ahead.
God, they have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people.
See that? So he moved us to jealousy with those that are not a people. That's why he went to these other nations, man. The other nations were as beasts before him. All right? According to Psalms 49 and 12, Psalm 49 and 20. Way too many other scriptures to count. 2 Ezra 6 and verse 46 down. The other people that also sprang at him, he didn't count them as spittle, man. All right? But he said, I'm going to deal with those people that I counted as spittle now. Right? So that's what this man did. He went and invited these other guests. The weren't of the invitees. Right? Okay, I called the Levites. I called the top of Israel and everything like that. They didn't want to come. So you know what? Just get the lowest of the people, man. Get the base men. Get the fools and the ones that ain't wise. Get the street nigga. Get the street corner hustler. Bring him in. You see that? Because he called the righteous at first. But what? They didn't want to come. So what? I came not to bring the righteous, but sinners to repentance. Y'all see that? So now it was anybody can try to get in, man. Anybody can try to get into this feast. But they still got to come dressed correct in that righteousness. Read Revelation 19 and 8. And we'll go back. Hold that Romans.
Revelation chapter 19 and verse 8.
Y'all got it? Okay.
That ye may eat the flesh of kings and the flesh of captains. That's like, so Revelation chapter 19 and verse 8.
Revelation chapter 19 verse 8. And it to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white.
Go ahead.
For the fine linen is righteousness of the saints.
So when he saw that man there at the feast that wasn't dressed correctly, he was saying, why didn't you come dressed correctly? Why weren't you dressed righteously? Why weren't you clothed in righteousness? You see that? Why were you all about, the law, but not the understanding of the law? Why was you over there condemning your brothers and sisters on their breaking of the law, but you didn't judge yourself and become righteous yourself? You see that? So when we go back to that scripture, this Matthew 22 verse 1 through 14, we're finding out this man hadn't clothed himself in righteousness. So he said, you know what? Get cast out of outer darkness, man. There'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth for you. But what he's showing you with that parable, man, is we killed and beat up the prophets. So the Most High sent his armies, the white man, the Arabs, the Africans, and they destroyed Israel, man. They sold us off in every place. As you read in Joel chapter 3, they sold us off everywhere. Those were his armies that he sent to destroy Israel, man. Remember, the wicked are his sword, man. All right? That's what it says in Psalms. The wicked are the Most High's sword. So he sent them to come wipe us out. All right? And then he said, invite everybody else. Just try to get the lowliest, man. Call the servants, call the drug dealers, call the pimps, call the hoes, call all them. And let them come to the feast, man. Since the righteous men of Israel, the kings and the princes, they didn't want to lead. They didn't want to do what's right. Y'all see that? Where we at? Oh, that other scripture was Romans 11 and what? Romans 11 and 2. Right, the wicked being the Most High sword is Psalm 17 verse 13. Y'all can write that down. All right, and on that point about the garments, y'all can put this in as Ecclesiastes 5 and 2.
Oh no,
Baruch 5 and 2. In the Apocrypha. All right, so to ISBHBK, it's Elizabeth Randall. To ISBHBK, do you guys have a show that would be good to watch on how to follow all the different types of laws? Dietary, civil, ceremonial, moral, etc. Pretty much like all of our classes end up touching on that, so it'd be hard to kind of pinpoint that for you. A lot of our question and answer classes turn into questions about the Sabbath, questions about food, dietary laws, and the civil, ceremonial stuff like that. Any class we do about the Passover and Purim and things like that you see on our page, that would be the best place to go for those. All right. What is really considered strange apparel, sir? Strange apparel now, a lot of y'all wearing it, man. We didn't dress like this back in the day. We didn't dress with polos on and fitted jeans and all that stuff like that. We didn't dress like a lot of the ways you dress now. But spiritually, strange apparel is anything outside of that righteousness we just read in Revelation 19 and 8. All right? What else? What was after that? Why do Israelites think the Most High sanctioned multiple wives? Because of the first commandment, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Alright? He wanted righteous men and women to reproduce so there would be a righteous nation on the planet. Alright? And you ain't gonna have, take the 12 tribes of Israel for example. One woman don't want to pop out no 12 kids. Alright? You ask any woman, you go ask the octuplet mom. They was making a big deal out of her for a while, gave her own show and all that, right? You go ask her if she wanted to pop out 8 kids by herself. Or if she would have rather that there would have been another woman there that was having at least 4 of them mugs. Alright? It was to keep that woman anatomically correct, if you will. Alright? Because when you go to Isaiah, like we read about before, and it said, a little one shall become a strong nation, right? A little one shall become 1,000. Okay, so that means one man is going to become 1,000. You're going to have 1,000 kids. You want to be that woman? Or would you rather that be spread out amongst a few women? Right? So there's that. All right, remember, a lot of the law was given for our sakes. All right? But it was, again, to be fruitful and multiply. Deuteronomy 32:21, to a people that are no people precept. Right, good. Why is a woman unclean on her menstrual after childbirth, especially if she has no control over menstruating and giving your husband children is a blessing? A lot of those cleanliness laws are ceremonial. Like the person was asking about ceremonial laws. They are ceremonially unclean. But beside that, blood carries a lot of, remember, if you're menstruating, that's waste. It's not the clean parts of your your uterus coming out. You understand? That's the uterus sloughing off with pus and blood and meat and everything coming out of there, and it's discharging a dead egg that ain't gonna be fertilized. So all that's coming out of your body as waste. If it didn't need to come out, It would be if it wasn't waste, it would stay a part of your body. You understand? It's the same reason he didn't want us having doo-doo in the camp. We would go without the camp and dig a hole and do it there and cover it over with dirt. All right. So that was a sanitary thing. All right. It was basically basic sanitation. When you go to the hospital, they carry that out today. They wipe some blood off you after they give you a shot. They throw it in that red bag. Right? They don't throw it with the rest of the garbage. That's biohazardous waste. So they throw it out there because it's hazardous to life. That's what biohazard means. All right. What's that, sis?
I was mentioning the Octomom. She actually got pregnant through IVF, and she wanted all 8.
Oh, she wanted all 8. Okay. All right.
So she did got naturally pregnant.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, I'm saying during labor, do you think she would have said the same thing? You think she was screaming, "Oh, thank you, Jesus, for 8 babies"? Y'all see that? But where we at? Okay, so we dealt with that, right?
Leviticus chapter 12.
Why is a woman unclean on her menstrual? You can read that.
Let's talk about birth.
So it's not talking about she's spiritually unclean, like she's defiled in her spirit and she's wicked as hell and throw her out of the camp of Israel and all that. It's just for sanitation's sake. All right. Let's see. Israel's not to touch. I'm not sure who that is that's answering the questions on there, but y'all, you want to leave that to the priest, and I'm gonna give you the scripture for that. All right. And it's also out of consideration that we've been doing this, and we don't want y'all misleading nobody or saying the wrong thing. But let's see. I think it's in Colossians. Oh, it's James. I'm sorry. James 3:1.
James chapter 3, verse 1.
Y'all got it? Okay. So this is just for the one that's on there answering the questions before we address them. All right, because just like he said, I suffer not a woman to teach, nor usurp authority over man, because he was trying to keep order in the churches. Right? He also told the men this. Read.
My brethren, be not many masters.
Right. He said, my brethren, be not many masters. Don't everybody be trying to be a teacher all at one time. Especially when it's not your time to be a teacher. All right? Right now, we're in school. There's a teacher up here. We don't need one going on the YouTube channel trying to answer the questions when we doing that in here. We said we would do that. Let us do that. All right? He said, become not many masters. Now, why am I saying that? Because I want all the people on YouTube to follow Tahoe on my own. No. Read.
Knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation.
Right. I'm looking out for your spirit, all right? So I'm making sure that you don't receive the condemnation that I might receive by giving out the wrong word or giving out the wrong message. All right? Because we're going to receive the greater condemnation because it's been entrusted to us. It's not. It hasn't been entrusted to you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on YouTube. You'd be up here. You'd be with us. All right. Was that it?
Did you want verse 2?
Go ahead.
For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man. And also,
we're going to receive the greater condemnation because a lot of the things we say, even though they're according to the scriptures, they offend people's little delicate sensibilities, man. We just did a show about these hood niggas and stuff like that, and trying to bring the hood mentality into the truth. And we offended a lot of cats that was so-called hood and street and gangster and everything like that. We would rather have them come into gun for us than come to gun for you. Y'all see that? Because we put ourselves in this position. Now, you trying to be a teacher on our YouTube page is putting you in an arena you might not be prepared to step into right now. So I'm watching out for your spirit, brother. All right, go to 1 Corinthians 14, verse 29, and let's see about keeping the order in the camps, in the churches, and even on our YouTube page. All right. 1 Corinthians 14, verse 29.
1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 29. Let the prophet speak 2 or 3, and let the others judge.
He said, let the prophet speak what?
2 or 3.
Uh-huh.
And let the others judge.
Go ahead.
If anything be revealed to another that sitteth by, let the first hold his peace.
Right. So if anything be revealed to another that's sitting by on our YouTube page, trying to answer every question that he sees somebody else asking, you're supposed to hold your peace, not try to speak all at the same time. All right. Now, if it's going to keep continuing after we done read the scriptures and showed you ain't supposed to be doing what you're doing, as it looks like that's what's happening, we're just going to block you and you won't be able to watch us anymore. That's simple. And like I said, it's for your spirit. It's not for me. It's not because we need the followers on YouTube, man. We teaching this word, but we're also accountable for what we teach. Remember, the scripture said, Christ said, if by every idle word will you be judged. So even if our speech is just lax out in the streets and somebody get offended by, oh man, I didn't know y'all cuss like that, or I didn't know y'all talked about women like that. We're accountable for just what they heard off our idle words. So we make sure we don't go out even in the streets talking like crazy people. You see that? Now, if you want to put yourself in this position, that's cool. But that means you got to be careful, because now you're in an arena where every idle word, they saw your name on the YouTube, they're going to call you up. And then you might tell them some stuff that was above your knowledge, and now you're accountable for that. You're accountable for that person's spirit. See, we taking this position willingly, knowing we're accountable for the spirits that we lead. All right? What's that?
Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 1. Keep thy foot.
Read it.
Ecclesiastes in the Bible, chapter 5 and verse 1. It says, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of the Lord, of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools.
See that? The sacrifice of fools is a whole bunch of words, man. That's what you read about the sacrifice of fools. The many words are always in a fool's mouth. All right? The lips of fools are in their tongue, or the heart of fools is in their tongue. It tells you about these things. So he said, keep your foot. How? Read.
It says, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God.
Right. Watch where you step when you dealing with the house of the Most High. Go ahead.
And be more ready to hear.
And be more ready to what?
To hear.
To talk.
To hear.
To teach.
To hear.
Be more ready to hear. Read.
Than to give the sacrifice of fools.
Right. Than to give that sacrifice of fools, and to be a person that's just full of many words. Because again, we are accountable for these people's spirits. Now I see your apology, so we ain't gonna have to really drill this into y'all too much. But y'all gotta notice while y'all watching us, man, is that we took this position, and it's a responsibility also. It's not just for a seat of glory. Alright? It's not just a seat of recognition. It's a seat of responsibility. Alright? What's that?
And that the second precept of that scripture hits hard, just like you say you apologize, because can I read?
Yeah.
It says, for they consider not that they do evil.
See that? You're not even knowing that you're doing evil. A lot of people now, instead of listening, they reading the rest of the text, right? Now they missed the answer to their question that was going to be rightfully divided to them. But if I look at the text, I'm looking at, dang, okay, you went into the Adam and Eve, you went over here, you went over here. We know how to rightly divide the word of truth so that we can keep a person on the same path of the question they're answering or they're asking. All right? But now they're on like 7 different subjects right now. You didn't consider that you might be doing evil. You might be distracted from the teaching. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to find the other people's questions now. I think that was it, right?
Yes, sir. Looks like it.
All right. Cool. All right. So, going back to that, where we were talking about with the, what we're trying to do down there in Trinidad and Tobago. A lot of y'all, you might not have been on, or you might have jumped off or something like that. But what we're trying to do in Trinidad and Tobago is we're trying to set up a school down there. There's a lot of brothers and sisters. We're trying to make sure that they're very serious. They seem right now very serious, and they've been hitting us up. In various different ways, and they've been watching faithfully every time we have class. So we're trying to set something up where we can get down to Trinidad and Tobago, but we can't have brothers doing the work of supporting, of selling the oils and everything like that all day and all night to keep the school open, and then they ain't able to go teach. We're not able to pull any of them off to go send them out there to start something. So. What we're asking the congregation, we're asking for y'all to view us, is a vow of at least 150, right? 150, or at least 100, okay? So, that way we can go ahead and free brothers up to go do these things, all right? And we went through a few scriptures about the giving, right? How they did it willingly in Exodus chapter 25. That your tithes is one thing, yes, but we also had alms and offerings. All right, different types of offerings. And in the case of Exodus chapter 25, they was giving money. So if you let anybody trick you out of that, they gave money. They gave material. They gave, like we ask every class, okay, if you have canned goods, clothes, anything like that will help with the educational process of your people, with the homeless and things like that you send those here. We ask for those things because we actually use it to help those people. We actually use that to help our students and to help those on the streets. All right? So that's actually done by us, and we ask for those things willingly. Those are materials and money. That's why we give y'all the bank account number so that y'all can drop any kind of money. Right now, we're asking for those that have been watching us and been faithfully viewing us, if it's on your spirit, all right, got to be in you. We're not thugs. We're not trying to preach you we're not trying to preach our way into your pockets, all right? It got to be in you. Got to be willing that you give. All right? But we're asking for 150 from those that watch us, and at least 100 if you can vow that to do it every month. All right? And that's going to go toward the work that we're trying to do down in Trinidad and Tobago. What's that?
A couple of scriptures for alms. Tobit 12 and 9.
Right. That's where we're going. But go ahead. Yeah.
Tobit chapter 12. We started at verse 8?
Yeah.
Tobit chapter 12 and verse 8. Prayer is good with fasting and alms and righteousness.
See, prayer is good with fasting and alms. So yeah, you pray, you're doing good, right? Fasting is good. You're doing good on those things, right? Because a lot of cats be like, oh, they're asking for money. You know what? I can just do it my own. I'll just pray and I'll fast, and me and the Most High will be right. Prayer is good with fasting and alms. Y'all see that?
God.
So he wants that mixture of all three. Why? Because it shows your pure mind state. That you're ready to put the flesh in subjection to your spirit, your own flesh, right?
God.
Then you're ready to put your thoughts in subjection, even your spirit, to subjection to the will of the Most High. You see that? By giving. By saying, you know what? If my brother needs, I'll give. If these brothers and sisters down in Trinidad and Tobago need, then we'll give. Go ahead.
A little with righteousness is better than much with unrighteousness.
See that? It's better for y'all to give of what you got and just have a little and be righteous. Be found righteous to the Most High. Than to have riches and the Most High looking at you like you a dirtbag. And that's all the scripture's saying, all right? That's not me trying to lay no guilt trip on you. We told you we was going to preach you the scriptures, and that's what we do. All right? We don't hold back for nobody. When white people come in, some of y'all in here tonight, right? Don't y'all hear me say the white man's the devil the Bible speaks of, and don't y'all hear all the history that y'all did? Huh? They there, right? Okay, so when Israel comes in, don't we be like, y'all was drug dealing niggas and waste and waste of flesh and everything like that? Alright, so we don't hold back on none of that. Why would we hold back when it says that you were supposed to give? You know what I mean? That's when everybody gets tight, like, oh man, see, they over there hitting us for money. The scriptures commanded us to do that. Then when we try to do the work of the Most High, charge the rich. Charge those that got it. All right? Where you at?
This is Tobit chapter 12 and verse 8, last precept.
Uh-huh.
It is better to give alms than to lay up gold.
See, it's better to give alms than to lay up gold. It's better to give than to sit there stacking it up in the bank. And, I'm saving this for a rainy day. What about me? What am I? He said it's better to give alms than to stack your chips. Y'all see that?
Come.
Go ahead.
Verse 9. For alms doth deliver from death.
He said alms does what?
Deliver from death.
There you go. All right, so you trying to stack up for a rainy day against rain. He said if you would have gave, you would be delivered from death. That's crazy, right?
God.
But what did we read in Acts? When they gave, the Most High's mercy came upon them. See that?
God.
He became merciful to those people. You understand?
God.
So what? Alms does deliver you from death. We had somebody ask about this the other day, right?
God.
Yeah. It was a class we just did on this. But was that it? Go ahead.
And shall purge away all sin.
Right? And it will purge away all sin, all types of sins that you done did before, whether you knew or didn't know. You know, because just as many people will say, as we say, oh yeah, Christ was black. They, oh yeah, I knew that. Then we say, okay, well, these are the sins that you ain't supposed to do. Oh, hey, I don't do those. I keep those. But there was some we touched on that. Ooh, I didn't know that was a sin. Alms purges away those sins, the ones you didn't know about. Y'all see that?
God.
It does it in the sight of the Most High, and what's beautiful about everything the Most High sets down, it cleanses away your sins in the sight of the Most High and men. Y'all see that?
God.
Like David, right? David had just set up his right hand man on murder, right? He just got him murdered, right? He had slept with the dude's wife, and when it came down to his son that he was having with the dude's wife, the Most High killed that son, right? Well, when you read about that, when you read about how David was going to be cursed with that, he said either that or the Most High gave him an option, whether he was going to deal with Israel a certain way, put plagues on Israel, or he would take his firstborn. He said, look, just take my firstborn. Now, the whole time up until his son was going to be taken, David was fasting, man. And it was like, why are you fasting? He said it might be the Most High reverse this decision. You know, he was praying, he was fasting for his son. But when the Most High took his son anyway, said he put on his garments, he made himself fresh, he put some oil on, he went out and started eating. Everybody was tripping like, when your son was alive, you went and fasted and mourned. But when he's dead, you gonna party now? He was like, listen, while he was alive, the Most High might have took that away. But now that he's dead, what's done is done, basically. You see that? So now I got to go back to honoring the Most High. I got to go back to doing what I'm supposed to do. And it said that everything he had done pleased all the people. Y'all see that? Why? Did he do it caring about what the people thought? Obviously not, because at first they was tripping like, why are you doing this? You see that? So obviously he didn't care what they thought. He was doing that with conscience toward the Most High. Y'all see that? So this is how we gotta be, man. It ain't about when we hitting y'all up for this dope, when we hitting y'all up for these vows, it's not about whether we're gonna judge you or not. It's not about we're gonna, oh yeah, you know what, nobody gave, so we're gonna shut off the YouTube. Y'all gotta pay $150 a class. It ain't about that, man. You understand? It's about, this is the Most High giving you an opportunity to prove yourself to him. Alright? If you don't give, an angel ain't gonna lose his wings. I'm not gonna lose my priesthood. All my hair is not gonna fall off. I'm not gonna end up broken, destitute in the streets. None of that. Alright? If you don't give, that's between you and the Most High. If you do give, I ain't gonna come up. I'm not gonna be driving no Hummer or nothing like that. That's gonna be between you and the Most High. You see that? But you will see a school in Trinidad and Tobago, regardless of whether you help or not. Alright? Most High will just move you out of the way and put another person in your place. That's all that's about. You finish that? What's that?
Those that exercise alms in righteousness shall be filled with life.
There you go. Those that exercise alms in righteousness, not grudging. not upset, not when they do it willingly, when they don't do it because they feel guilty, but just because they want to do it to do what's right and help Israel. He said, what will happen?
They will be filled with life.
Jump up, man. You gotta jump up.
Oh, slop. Those that exercise alms and righteousness shall be filled with life.
See that? They'll be filled with life when they exercise righteousness. The order of Melchizedek. Those that are organized chaos asking, we explain the order of Melchizedek, or do we have a video? We don't have a specific video. It goes in the question and answer box, but go to Hebrews chapter 7, verse 14. Let me know when y'all got it.
Hebrews chapter 7, verse 14. For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, out of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood.
See, the priesthood was supposed to go to Levi, all right, the tribe of Levi. Most High didn't say nothing about no other tribe, and Christ sprang out of Judah, but we call him a high priest, right? Okay, so he came after the order of Melchizedek. That's what that means. Now, when you read about Melchizedek, he came before the Levites were even born. The scriptures say they were still in Abraham's loins when Abraham was giving tithes to Melchizedek. All right, when he gave 10% of everything he had took from the spoiling of 4 different nations, he wiped out 4 different nations. Right? He gave that 10% over to Melchizedek, the king of Salem. All right, go ahead.
Verse 15. And it is yet far more evident, for that after the similitude of Melchizedek, there arise another priest.
See that? This is talking about Christ. Just like Melchizedek, he wasn't part of no Levitical priesthood because the Levites weren't born yet. You understand? Well, at this time, we didn't really have no Levitical priesthood either. But Christ was the high priest now. Why? Because both these priests were called by the Most High. Y'all see that? They were handpicked and told, listen, you're going to take on the sins of Israel. You're going to take on the sacrifice of Israel. Y'all see that? So when Abraham gave his 10% to Melchizedek, that was a sacrifice from Abraham. Y'all see that? When Christ came and died, he was the sacrifice for Israel. You understand? All right, go ahead.
Verse 16. Who is made not after the law of a cardinal commandment.
See, he's not made after the law of a cardinal commandment. He wasn't, it wasn't inscribed that, Christ is going to be a priest, just like the Levites. No, it wasn't written in writing. It was known in the spirit. Go ahead.
But after the power of an endless life.
See that? What made him the high priest forever was that he didn't die, he don't die and be dead forever like we do. Y'all see that? No, he died and rose again, and him as that man Christ is going to live forever. Go ahead.
For he testified, thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek.
So this is what scripture we're talking about. What is that order of Melchizedek, right? What is that order of Melchizedek? Well, Christ was called after the order of Melchizedek. So who is this person? Let's go to Genesis. Genesis chapter 14
and 8.
I'm trying to see if I want to start there. That's all. Yeah, I guess you could just do it there. That's cool. So when you read up in 14, you find out Abraham went and rescued his nephew Lot. And he took 318 men with him, and they slaughtered everybody in 4 cities. All right? They slaughtered the armies of 4 cities. They went up against 4 different kings that had just beat 5 other kings. All right, they had just beat the people of Sodom, where Lot lived, and when you read about Sodom and Gomorrah, it wasn't just 2 cities. There's 5 cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, it's what's called a pentapolis. It's 5 cities. All right, so those kings had just beat them. Those 4 kings had beat those 5 kings, and Abraham, with only 318 men, wiped them out. All right. So when those kings came to give homage to Abraham, when they came to basically be servants to him and say, okay, well, here's your gifts, right? The king of Salem also came. All right? Because what did the Most High do to Abraham? He charged him to keep him humble. All right? So when you read, Abraham gives 10% of what he gave from, or what he gained from these 10 cities, or these 4 cities, he gives that to the king of Salem. Why? Because the Most High charges the rich. Even did it through the king of Salem. He said, okay, Abraham, give that 10% to him. Why? Because I'm going to keep you humble. I'm going to still check your spirit. Yeah, you did all this greatness and you wiped out 4 kings. Good job. Right? But I want to see your humility. Take 10% of what you made with your life on the line and give that over to this man. Y'all see that? So I'm glad you asked about the Melchizedek thing, because it goes right in line with what we're talking about. What made Abraham righteous? His ability to give when the Most High required. Y'all see that? That he could still sacrifice, and that made him righteous. That was what made him a righteous man. When this king of Salem came, he gave that up. While the other kings were giving to Abraham, the other kings that came to meet Abraham, they were giving to him. He took 10% of that and gave it over to this man. Y'all see that? Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 14, verse 18. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God.
So this man was a priest of the Most High. He was chosen by the Most High to be a priest. Go ahead.
And he blessed him and said, Blessed be Abram of the Most High God.
And you got to know where Abraham came from. He came from Ur the Chaldees, where all these nations, man, he went through Egypt and all that. All these nations had priests to some gods. You understand? They all had priests to some gods, but this priest was a priest of the Most High. So whatever place he came from, Salem, it wasn't Israel, because it wasn't even formed yet, right? But he came from some other place, but he was a priest of the Most High. Y'all see that? Meaning this was a righteous man who honored the Most High in everything he did. So because he was righteous, the Most High said, you know what? You're going to, the Most High put it in Abraham's spirit, because the Most High didn't have to make Abraham do this. Abraham's spirit saw that this man was a priest of the Most High, and he gave to him. Watch, read on.
Possessor of heaven and earth.
So this man came and blessed Abraham. He said, bless the Most High, possessor of all the heaven and earth. Go ahead.
Verse 20.
Now Abraham been around nothing but Chaldeans and all this, so all he heard is the name of other gods being floated across his face, and he left that alone. Y'all see that?
Come on.
Go ahead. So when he hears this man say, blessed are the Most High, blessed are you of the Most High, possessor of heaven and earth, he knew, okay, I'm not dealing with one of them homosexual priests of these other nations. Y'all see that? No, I'm dealing with a priest of the Most High. Go ahead.
And blessed be the Most High God, which hath delivered thine enemies into thy hand.
Right.
And he giveth him tithes of all.
And he gave him tithes of all. So Abraham gave this man his tithes, his 10%. You understand? So while all these other kings came and they was giving homage, like if you watch the movie Troy, right? That king, I forgot his name, man. I forgot his name. It'll pop in there. But he goes and he destroys these other armies of the Greeks, right? And they all become servants to him. They all coming up, hey, this is made from the finest whatever, and they lay that at him and they walk off, and the next one comes and he's giving him gifts, right? Well, Abraham, after all them kings paid their homage, he said, okay, this 10% goes to this man, to the priest of the Most High. Y'all see that?
Come on.
Where you at?
Verse 21.
Uh-huh.
And the king of Sodom said unto Abram, Give me the person and take the good to thyself.
Right, so that, that's going on, showing you that, for he had rescued the king of Sodom, all right, because those nations had overthrew the people of Sodom and Gomorrah, all right. So he rescued the king, and the king was like, listen, you keep everything, you keep all the goods, man. Just let me get my people back, all right. So Abraham came up rich from this, all right, but he still made sure that he gave his 10%. Y'all see that? He gave that over to this priest Melchizedek, who was a priest after the order of the Most High, meaning the Most High chose him. Let's see. When your spirit goes through regeneration, does your personality change each time? It must, because when you read about John the Baptist and when you read about Elijah, they had different personalities. Elijah wasn't running around dunking people in water, right? Elijah wasn't foretelling Christ coming. He wasn't doing certain things that John the Baptist was. Yet Christ said that this is Elijah. You understand?
Yeah.
He said John the Baptist was Elijah. So they had different personalities. They wore the same garments though.
Yeah.
They had the same taste in clothing. But Elijah was eating bread and stuff that was given to him by the ravens of the air, right? The Most High had the ravens delivering him his food when he was out in the wilderness, right? And then John the Baptist was eating locusts and wild honey. So the taste of food was different, obviously. All right? But yeah, your every spirit is going to be a little different in everything. In the regeneration and all that, when you what we call reincarnation now, yeah, you have a different personality to you, yeah, but the spirit toward the Most High is going to be the same. All right. What time is it? All right, so I'm gonna let y'all go because we got class tomorrow, 10 a.m. All right. No, you ain't gotta block them. All right. They're good. I'm just seeing some of these texts. Alright, so I got y'all a little late. So, once again, just to show, what we went through was the main point of it was that giving and what we're trying to do down there in Trinidad and Tobago. If you want to be a part of that, if you want to help out, if it's on your spirit, if it's in your heart to do that, then we have the Wells Fargo account, and she's gonna put that on the screen if we can. But it's account number 101-580-6167, and that's in your local Wells Fargo. All right, or if you're online, you can put that in the Wells Fargo account 101-580-6167, and that's going toward the work of us trying to get down there in Trinidad. For y'all that joined us from Trinidad and Tobago, we got another sister that is trying to is trying to help us get down there also, and she's there with y'all. I need y'all to be able to contact me. I need y'all to contact me or Priest Kazaki as soon as possible. Tomorrow, whenever you can, or anytime. I'm on Facebook as Thahawan Mayum. All right, and if you can put that on the screen too, and we can contact each other, talk through Facebook Messenger, and get this all organized. Or Priest Kazaki, his phone number is 281-707-2737. All right. Whoa. Okay. Actually, somebody hit me up on that. But yeah, with that, we're going to conclude class so we can be up here 10 a.m. tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you got questions then, beautiful, come through. For y'all online, come through and be able and get your questions answered. All right. And we'll go ahead and knock those out. Tomorrow's the best day for it because we got more time. But yeah, for y'all that are joining us, we appreciate y'all help. and your consideration and everything. Like, share, and subscribe to the videos. Try to share them with at least 2 or 3 people that you know. All right, and that way this word can get out there. But with that, we're gonna say shalom.
Shalom.